Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the launch pad, or good morning or good afternoon, depending where you're joining us from. Welcome back to the launch pad for another live launch coverage tonight of an Ariane 5 mission launching two satellites into orbit. As always, as we get started, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to welcome you here. If you're new, take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help us out. Here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we believe space is better together, so we're excited to have you here with us tonight. You can join our crew by subscribing, checking out the Discord. The link is in the description, but will also be in our chat in a moment as well. Totally free to join. If you guys are in the Discord, feel free to jump on over into live comms. You can hang out there tonight and talk amongst yourselves. Maybe one of you can screen share the broadcast in, but keep the streams up on your screen there and have some community, as well as joining us in the YouTube chat. We'd love to see where you're all coming from. Lots of people joining in here for tonight's stream of an Ariane 5, only the second Ariane 5 flight we have seen this year, and the next one after this, targeting December 18th, is the one the world's waiting for, which is the launch of James Webb. Not tonight, that's the next one on December 18th is what they're currently targeting. Lots of people joining in. We got Alicious in Vancouver. We've got Dale in Wisconsin. Great to see you. Frosty in Saratoga, New York. Darth in New York State. Joe's in Hong Kong. Good morning. Tubular is in the Netherlands. We got Bakersfield all over the world joining us in. We're glad to have you here with us. We are waiting for Arianespace to get their stream up here in about 8 minutes. We'll be able to patch in their feeds and hear some updates about today's mission and the status of the rocket. We did hear a couple of hours ago that everything was progressing well towards a liftoff time in 1 hour and 4 minutes from now. So we've got about an hour until launch. Breaking down a little bit about today's flight, we'll be launching into a geostationary orbit, two satellites on board, SES-17 weighing 6,400 kilograms or 14,000 pounds, and the Syracuse 4A satellite, weighing 3,500 kilograms or 7,700 pounds. So two satellites on board, launching from the Guiana Space Center in the French Guiana on board the Ariane 5. Of course, the Ariane 5 is not a recoverable rocket, nor are the fairings, so of course the fairings are new. A little bit about historical stats. As I said, the second launch of this year, 10th launch for Arianespace in 2021. We're at the 102nd launch for this year of all space agencies. So exciting to see that number rise. Let us know in the chat how high you think that number is going to get this year. Are we going to hit 150, 125? Where do you guys think? Now, keep in mind that says orbital, so that does not include any of the suborbital flights that we have seen so far this year. If you are new, we know lots of new people have been joining on over the last few weeks. A couple things we've had some feedback on. People were saying they weren't getting notified when we were going live. Make sure next to your subscribe button that you've also clicked that bell. Hover over it, take a moment, hover over that bell, and see if it says some notifications or all. Make sure you click that all. That's going to make sure you get notified, not halfway through a stream or once our stream ends, but actually when we go live. So that'll help you out there. So you can tune in and watch these live launch coverages or starbase testing when they occur and not hours after. People all over the world joining in here. We got Andrew in Austria. We've got Tutu in Finland, or Tuju, sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Kenny's in Australia. Joshua in the UK. Kenny in Sydney, morning at 11 a.m. Good morning. Francis is in Portland, Oregon. We got Fairgrounds in England. Lots of UK and England joining us. Great to see. Great to have you all in here for tonight. Take a moment, share out the broadcast, let people know that we are getting started here, coming up on T-minus 1 hour until tonight's Ariane 5 launch, and we'll hopefully have some live views of that rocket here momentarily. Of course, here at the Launchpad, we love answering your guys' questions about the mission leading up to it, so you can send those in the chat now. We'll be answering those over the next hour, and then following it, we'll hang out, answer your general space questions for a little bit. And of course, following any stream, we always head over to our Discord and hang out in live comms and answer some more questions in there. Pull up some Kerbal, maybe recreate the mission, or try some other things out there as well. Christina, it better not scrub. Alabama is having a bad game, and I need something good right now. Well, I'm sad to hear you're getting a bad game, but we'll have a good launch here, hopefully tonight. Now, they do have a larger launch window here this evening, opening at 9:01 p.m. Eastern, all the way until 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So a larger launch window. The Ariane 5 is a rocket that can have built-in holds or temporary holds in its count, depending on the state of the rocket, the ground systems, and everything on board. Lots of systems have to be all go for launch. Nice thing is Arianespace generally gives us a pretty clear view of that status board, knowing if we are currently in a green or a red status for launch. Today, the target orbit they're going to be going into, perigee altitude at 250 kilometers with an apogee at 35,200 kilometers. So a very large difference there. That's where they're going to be getting into, and then they'll get into a final orbit once in position. Inclination is 6 degrees. The customers for both satellites are the same customer, the Thales Alenia Space for the DGA. Today's mission is expected to take 38 minutes, 41 seconds from the point of liftoff until both satellites have had full separation and deployment along their way. So we'll have some time in that coast phase to continue answering your guys' questions as well. M. Carpenter, ESA, technically, I believe. I feel like I missed a question. Lucius, it's French, right? This is the Arianespace, so the European Space Agency. So it's a group of countries that are part of it. Intended purpose of this mission, they'll dive into it a bit deeper. They generally have some a good breakdown of each satellite that is on board for the missions. Let me pull up here the two satellites. The SES-17 satellite is a high throughput telecommunications satellite that'll give coverage over the Americas, the Caribbean, and the Atlantic. And it's to help the aviation connectivity landscape with data across the maritime, government, and enterprise segments. It features 200 spot beams. The power will be able to, help out in the aviation sector there. I'm sure they'll dive a little bit deeper into that satellite. And then the Syracuse 4A satellite is a military communication satellite deployed and commissioned by the French Armament General, so the DGA there, and will allow armed forces to be able to communicate with each other while deployed at sea, on the ground, and in the air. So a military satellite there as well, launching here today. Spacey's asking, what's the scale of those models in the background? The big ones behind me, the Falcon 9 and the Falcon Heavy, are 148. They are 5 feet tall. For it, the Saturn there is the Lego Saturn set. It's a 110 scale, and then we have some of the other models on the wall that are in various scales from 1 to 50, I believe, 1 310 and up. So lots of options there. Johnny, will be comforting to see the performance of an Ariane 5 prior to the launch of a James Webb. Absolutely. We were talking about this in the Discord actually about an hour ago. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the chat. How do you feel about the James Webb Telescope launch coming up? Do you feel that the launch will go well? Are you worried about the launch, or are you worried about deployment of the telescope? I'm more thinking the telescope itself is where we have some more concerns to be. They have 50 major deployments the James Webb Telescope will have to perform after 29 days in orbit, maneuvering to its position. So be exciting to see that happen and go from there. Did not make the models behind me. I built the Lego ones. Models behind me from a number of different people, Bohimzo and Starship Balls over on Etsy. We're excited to be launching the Launchpad website here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to have a whole section about everything in the studio with a full studio tour as well. And we'll be connecting with some of our partners and hopefully have some discount codes for you guys as well, so you can pick up some models. Do know for Starship Balls, you don't have to get the 5 feet tall models if you don't have room. They do have space, some other scales there as well. As we wait Arianespace going live here in the next couple of minutes, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're joining us from if you haven't yet. Also, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. Already 200 plus people watching. Welcome, great to have you all here for our live coverage of tonight's Ariane 5 mission launching from the French Guiana. If you'd like to help support what we do, you consider becoming a member here by joining us on Patreon or a YouTube membership, just like Liberty Dude there. Thank you so much, Liberty Dude, for joining. Welcome to our crew as a civilian astronaut. We appreciate you supporting us and what we do in that way. If you are in the Discord, Liberty Dude, if you can message one of the suborbital mods or one of the mods or admins, just with a screenshot or a message that's you, we'll make sure that on the Discord we can upgrade you to that correct tier so you get access to all those behind the scenes channels. So when you become a member, starting at $1.99 with a VIP spectator role or higher, there's different tiers in our Discord that you can access, but we will always strive to have over 50% of our Discord available to the public, so you guys will be able to tune in and see how things are going. And Ariane just went live with a nice little teaser for us, which will be fun. We're going to be live here answering your guys' questions for a little bit, as they're going to start their stream in 20 minutes. So we got a little bit of a timer there, waiting for some live views of the rocket, but I do believe that is a live view of the rocket. So that's why we're going to put that on the screen here tonight, is because that is actually the rocket out on the pad, and we want to be able to see that here for as long as we can. I'll make a slight adjustment on our screen here, and we'll go from there. Got a super chat in here from Wheelie98. Thank you so much for that. Any room at Kourou for a Starship launch facility? That's a great question. Let me pull up a map and take a look and see. I have not actually looked at that. That's a really great question there. So just give us a quick second and we are going to find out here together. Thank you so much for that super chat. We do appreciate that as well. If you guys are sending in questions to help us find it out, you can send it in either as a super chat, or if you can put at the launch pad anywhere in your comment, that'll help make sure that it gets flagged so we don't miss that in the comments section. Let's pull up a map of the hero section and see if there is any space that they could maybe squeeze one in there. Salar, is this mission going to be a demo on James Webb Telescope? I mean, some sort of preparation for the next launch. By the way, an anomaly occurred at the Ariane 5 ground system. However, it has now been corrected. That is true. We did see that there was a ground system delay here, which is why we did not see this launch a couple of days ago. They wanted to have some more time working on the ground units. They haven't been able to repair any issue that was discovered. I think even if it's not directly being referred to as a demo mission for James Webb, of course, everyone that's cheering on James Webb will be watching tonight's launch, as it'll be the last launch of this rocket design prior to that very expensive, over $10 billion satellite. The new next generation of Hubble, really. Replacing Hubble and opening up even more history and information in the development of the solar system and the universe. So absolutely, it's definitely something people will be watching closely, making sure that everything progresses well, and kind of goes from there. Pulling up a satellite image of Kourou here. Take a look and see what's actually on the map. Theoretically, yeah, you probably could fit some stuff out on the launch site. I'm just trying to pull it up here on the camera for you guys. So this is a look at the actual launch facility that we'll be launching from here today. This is the Kourou Space in the Guiana Space Center. Right here, some of their buildings, and then the actual launch sites kind of going down that road. So there definitely is some open land that they could be looking at. I'm not sure if this is a wildlife preserve or anything. Let's pull over. Nothing directly listed. It is green. I think that's just the color of the country. But yeah, nothing directly listed. That's a good call. Very possible that you could see a cargo, maybe, version of a Starship facility set up there. Great idea there. Thanks for sending that in. Appreciate it. If you're just joining us, welcome. You're watching our live launch coverage of tonight's Ariane 5 mission. We're expecting about 15 minutes from now an update from Arianespace as they count down towards tonight's launch attempt which is about 50 minutes away from now. So we're hanging out, answering your guys' question. Wow, over 300 of you joining us in tonight. Welcome here. Take a moment, smash that like button. Let's see, can we get to that 250 likes before Arianespace goes live? Great to have you all here. Nazia says, watching from Suriname, waiting on the rocket outside while watching live on you. That's amazing. Are you guys, is that nearby? I don't know the region all that well, but thanks for being here. M. Carpenter, fine looking rocket. It really is. 2 communication satellites, 1 military, 1 for aviation on board here tonight, launching into a very good orbit, very high orbit, going up to over 35,000 kilometers. Of course, they'll dive into that a little bit deeper during the presentation. A long launch window, 9:01 p.m. Eastern until 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So they are targeting the very first few minutes of that launch window, which is generally what we see with Arianespace in their time, so that they do have time for a hold should they need to. Liberty Dude, with the new window opening up by NASA for information of new options for vehicles to bring crews to the space station with Starliner's failure, is it possible SpaceX can offer a second type of vehicle? Absolutely. Besides Dragon, yeah, absolutely. SpaceX could try to develop another vehicle. A lot of people are like, just send Starship when it works. The big question is, could you actually attach Starship and station be able to maintain its orbit and maneuverability and everything? Probably not, just because the entire of the ISS, if you squished it together, could fit in one Starship. But could SpaceX develop like a secondary capsule, maybe a bigger one, or something? Absolutely, is something they could do. Would they? Probably not. If anything, they would look at probably one of the other people that had bid, most likely Sierra Space or previously Sierra Nevada, with their Dream Chaser would be the next up. For bid, as Sierra Space is now working on the Dream Chaser for their own space station and industry. Originally, it was a crewed vehicle. They lost that bid. Then it was a cargo vehicle. They lost that bid, both for NASA, and now they're working on their own program. Johnny Spacer, Zach, your hard work and persistence paying off. It's been pretty good. Oh my. SpaceX, what is this? Okay, this is totally not related, but I'm pulling this up. Thank you, Mars. We're playing a video here. This just got, I haven't watched this yet. So this is gonna be a live reaction of this video here. Bear with me a brief moment as we get this pulled up. SpaceX just posted a video called The Gateway to Mars. And Twitter apparently is breaking over it. We're gonna patch this in. You guys are gonna be able to hear the audio of it as well. And we're gonna see what this is. We don't get a lot from SpaceX, and I saw the first few seconds, and it's pretty amazing. So let's take a look at the Gateway to Mars. Okay, what? That last shot. There's some shots in there that we've never seen before. That's incredible. I know we're here for an Ariane 5 launch tonight, and this is not an Ariane 5 launch, but we have to talk about this for a moment. If you're just joining us, welcome. You are here for an Ariane 5 launch. We are currently about 45 minutes away from launch. Arianespace will be going live in about 10 minutes. SpaceX breaking Twitter here with a hype video. I'm not even sure what to call that. That is something very different than what we've seen from them before, where we've seen some highlight videos. This is very much a video trying to get people excited about the future. A gateway to Mars. This is not just a moon rocket. This is a Mars rocket. And let's be honest, it's a rocket further than that. But wow, woo, I got goosebumps. That's exciting. Having been there, standing on that road, seeing Booster 4 on the orbital launch site, S-20 on the test stand, seeing the orbital tank farm, hearing the sounds of the work, it is absolutely incredible. If you guys haven't made a chance to get down there, I know it's difficult to travel for many right now. In the next year or two, try to get there. Try to get there but before Starship becomes normal. While it's still being developed, we have a whole nother tower that's still going to be getting built, another orbital tank farm, another landing site. Get there while it's under construction, because it is truly an incredible atmosphere and place to be. You don't feel like you should be able to stand there where you can. I'll use my mouse here. We hung out here live many times with all of you, as well as down here when we saw some tanks come in, and we're excited to be down there for our orbital launch attempt as well. Definitely check out the dunes. Incredible place, but wow, what a video. Outstanding, SpaceX. Thank you, Mars, for giving us a shout out about that. I think that was more exciting than looking at a clock with the Ariane 5 rocket behind that. But I know we missed a little bit of chat there, so we're going to try to catch up here. Justine, thank you so much. You're always so generous jumping in here. Hello from the Philippines. Thanks for being here. Wow, what a tweet. I just have to tweet this. Bear with me here one moment. You guys haven't followed us over on Twitter, you can check us out at @TLPN_official. Take a moment, follow us on there. That would be absolutely amazing to have you join us there. But wow, what a video. Thank you, Mars Meditation, for that. What a way to start off. I want that soundtrack too. Absolutely incredible. Black Cooper over on Facebook, mission to Mars ready. Yep, they're getting ready there. Welcome from Indonesia. Great to see you. To our friends over on Facebook, thanks for tuning in, and over on Twitch. Take a moment, join us over on YouTube, youtube.com/thelaunchpad, and subscribe. Really does help us out as we put everything out on YouTube, but we try to go live on Twitch and Facebook for launch coverage to make it as easy as possible for you to join in. Great to have you all here, but absolutely, SpaceX developing towards the future. Elon's a great promoter as well as a entrepreneur. Absolutely. Play it again. We'll play it in a little bit. We'll get some more hype maybe after the stream here and go from there. But great to have you all here. If you're just joining us, welcome here to the launch pad. You're watching our live launch coverage of Ariane 5 launching 2 communication satellites, 1 commercial aviation and 1 private military or French military satellites into orbit tonight. Expecting Arianespace to go live here in just a few minutes, but we do have that live view of the rocket, which is why we've got that stream still pulled up here with the countdown clock to give you that best view of the rocket. If you guys have questions, you can continue sending those in. Just make sure, put at the launch pad. That makes sure we are able to see that question and answer it here live for you. You don't have to send it as a super chat, but if you do, it's greatly appreciated. It helps support what we do. We're excited to be working on Starbase Cam as well as some other 24/7 live cameras be coming your way in the very near future right here on the launch pad. Also, brand new weekly show coming your way in most likely November, where we'll be talking about some main topics, but most importantly, taking your guys' live comments, questions, and topics in the chat. So keep an eye out for more information about that. And very soon, in the next couple days, keep out an eye for a new test video we're going to do of a new Flash Weekly News update video where we break down everything that took place in the last week in just a couple of minutes. So keep an eye out for that. We'd love your guys' comments on that and how we can, if you guys like that format or not. But of course, we are here for tonight's Ariane 5 mission launching from the French Guiana Launch Center, the Guiana Space Center. Tonight, the last Ariane 5 mission, as I said before, James Webb, the second of this year, the 10th Arianespace mission of 2021, and the 102nd orbital flight of 2021 as well. So definitely picking up here this year. Argyle, what are they launching? They'll be launching 2 communication satellites into orbit, one for aviation, for over the Caribbean and the North America, I believe it said, a bunch of areas, as well as the French military is launching a communication satellite for their deployed troops as well. So we will hear more about that from Arianespace once they go live, but take a moment, let us know where you're watching from. Glad to have you all here. We got Jim in Nottingham. Great to see you. Philip in Wisconsin. Thanks for being here. Lots of people joining in. Great to see you all. M. Kelly, a perfect Christmas present. The Mars video or the launch? Oh, James Webb. Yeah, definitely an exciting Christmas present there. And hopefully confirmation of a good deployment of it just into the new year. That'd be a great way to kick off 2022. With the launch of James Webb. Marianne, Suriname is the neighboring country west of the French Guiana. Oh, that's awesome. Well, hopefully you'll get a good view here tonight. We hope you have some clear skies there as well. We got a few people asking when are they going to be launching the James Webb Space Telescope. That is the next launch for the Ariane 5. Currently targeting a launch date of no earlier than December 18th. So just before Christmas. So we'll, of course, be bringing you full live coverage of that, so make sure that you stay here with us. Robot H, you got a groovy feed. Love your broadcast. Thanks so much for checking it out. Appreciate you're here. If you guys are new, welcome here at the Launchpad. First, my name's Zach. I'm the host here at the Launchpad. If you were with us for our static fire coverage, you know, we have a few other hosts that join us as guests every now and again as well, and we'll possibly pull in some of them following the launch to answer your guys' questions. So keep an eye out. If not, we'll all be hanging out in the Discord as well. But here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. And we believe explorers can be people here on Earth looking up into space, as well as people going to space. And we believe that space is better together. So we invite you to join our crew. You can do that in a few different ways. One is engaging that subscribe button. It's free to do. Make sure you never miss another live launch coverage, Starbase coverage, or exclusive interviews. We got some of those in the works, and excited to share those with you in the future as well. Take a moment, join the Discord. That's free to do so as well. But if you would like to help out what we do here at the Launchpad, you can do so one of 2 ways or 3 ways. You can click on the link for Patreon or go to patreon.com/thelaunchpad, or you can click join. Starts at just $1.99 on both of those platforms, and that gets you behind the scenes access here to the Launchpad, as well as helps make sure that we can bring you guys the best possible live coverage and covering everything space as well. Yeah, sharing the broadcast out, that helps as well. Inviting your friends and family here, joining the conversations, asking questions. We love answering those and going from there. So lots to talk about here. Expecting Arianespace to go live in about a minute, and we'll, of course, patch them in to hear an update on the current status of tonight's rocket coming up on about 35 minutes or until the opening of tonight's launch window. People all over the world joining in. James is in Texas. We got another James that's in Melbourne, Florida. We've got Safety in Tampa Bay. We got Georgia. We got a number of people in Suriname, which is awesome. We got Austin, Texas, Lagardo, Texas. Absolutely incredible to have you all here. Robot, SpaceX's go for Mars colonization and up to 100 launches a year. That would be a lot of launches for SpaceX a year. We're only on 102 this year of everyone, but that would be exciting to see. Florida Space Coast equals go Ariane 5. They'll be launching actually out of the French Guiana, which is south of North America, down in South America. But yes, the Space Coast cheering them on here tonight. Preston asking, what is the heading of the Ariane 5 launch? They're launching into an inclination of 6 degrees up to 250 kilometers perigee and an apogee of 35,200. Of course, it looks like Arianespace is going live here, so we'll patch in their raw audio and hear an update on the status of tonight's rocket. Give us 2 seconds there. It looks like we got their French feed pulled up there, but we'll pull up their English one here in just a moment. Let's see if this is English.
This evening, we have 2 passengers on board, SES-17, developed for the operator SES, and Syracuse 4A by the French Defense Procurement Agency, both designed by Thales Alenia Space, that are now comfortably installed inside the launcher and, like us, eagerly waiting for liftoff. Well, all the teams are on site, from Arianespace, the CNES and ESA, and currently working on the finer details of the mission. But now my colleague Baptiste is linking up with Stefan Israel in Kourou, and I'll translate for our English-speaking audiences. Good evening, Stefan. Welcome to Road to Space.
Bonsoir, merci.
Very happy to see you tonight for this launch. I see behind you that all the teams are at their stations and ready for this new Ariane 5 launch. What can you tell us about this next mission? This is our 11th launch of the year. We are in the Jupiter space room. It's the second with Ariane 5. We will be placing 2 passengers into geostationary transfer orbit, SES-17, a telecommunication satellite for the operator SES, and Syracuse 4A, a telecommunication satellite developed for the French Ministry of Defense. The 2 passengers, although very different, were manufactured by Thales Alenia Space, and this will be the 164th and 165th satellites manufactured by Thales Alenia Space that we put into orbit. But tonight, it is a record-breaking night. VA255 was also set new records. It will be the highest and most powerful Ariane 5 ever operated by Arianespace, and above all, with a combined satellite mass of 10,263 kilograms. We will launch the heaviest payload ever placed in geostationary transfer orbit. This is a world record. And now we're going to beat 3 records tonight. Thank you very much, Stefan. What a program tonight. I see that the pressure is slowly building up, so we won't keep you any longer. Thank you so much, Stefan. Have a fantastic launch. And to help us understand all the finer details of this very special launch, I have with me
111th launch of Ariane 5, which will be lifting off shortly from Guiana spaceport. We will, of course, be live from Kourou, but also here in Paris with our space expert, David Aranzo-Grous, head of Advanced Studies Department at Arianespace. With him, we will be reporting step-by-step the launch, and you will know everything there is to know about these 2 very special passengers on board. On board the launcher today are 2 very special passengers, SES-17 and Syracuse 4A.
Quand vous avez 2 satellites sur le même lancement et donc ils vont partir avec la même fusée Ariane, c'est plus un moment exceptionnel, c'est vraiment une période absolument fantastique.
When it comes to telecommunication, surveillance and security satellites, you can't get much better, and they are a fine example of French and European know-how.
Je me souviendrai toujours du moment où en fait j'ai vu tout le monde en salle blanche venir prêter main forte au reste de l'équipe. Je me souviens du feeling que j'ai ressenti en me disant cette équipe est géniale.
We will also be showing you different video reports and never before seen footage of the design of these satellites and giving you the latest update on Arianespace's future launcher, Ariane 6. Well, it's the 23rd of October 2021. Welcome aboard Road to Space, the program where Earth meets space and the present.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Road to Space. And in less than 30 minutes now, SES-17 and Syracuse 4A will start their journey into space. And I'm here with David Aranzo-Grous. You are head of Advanced Studies Department, Arianespace. Can you tell us, what was your role in the preparation of this flight?
Yes, good evening, Emma. Yes, our role in the Advanced Studies Department is way upstream of the launch, about 4 years ago, before the launch services contract was signed with our customers, we did the necessary analysis to check the feasibility of the launch and to offer to our customers the best technical solutions.
So to better understand the key phases of this flight, we have a couple of images up on our screen, which are coming up in a couple of minutes, that we'd like you to comment on. They should be coming up any minute now. Here we go.
Yes. So we will be launching from Kourou in the northeastern coast of South America. There will be liftoff. We will start by igniting the main engine, the Vulcan engine, and then the two solid boosters at 7 seconds after H0. This will lift off the launcher. After that, we will have a vertical climb, and then we will start rotating. We will perform a gravity turn, progressively tilting the launcher. At 2 minutes and 19 seconds, we will have booster separation. And shortly after that, in a minute later, we will have the separation of the fairing. This will happen once we have reached a high enough altitude so that the fairing is no longer needed. The flight will continue towards the east, towards the equator, and at 8 minutes after liftoff, 8 minutes and 40 seconds, the main engine will cut off and the main stage will separate from the rest of the launcher. The upper stage engine will ignite and we will go across the Atlantic for about 15 minutes and then at about 25 minutes, 40 seconds after launch, we will have the shutdown of the engine and the injection in the targeted orbit. A few minutes after that, we will have the separation, the orientation of the upper stage in the right direction, and followed by the separation of the SES-17 satellite, which is the upper passenger in our launcher today. This will happen at 29 minutes after liftoff. After that, we will perform some additional maneuvers to separate the SILDA, the double launch structure, and this will happen at 36 minutes. And a couple of minutes later, after giving the satellite the right orientation, we will separate Syracuse 4A. After that, the stage will continue by performing some passivation maneuvers that will empty the tanks and that will reduce the lifetime in orbit.
So what are we seeing here?
This is, yes, the end of the maneuvers.
Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to follow this flight very closely tonight. But before that, we're keeping a close eye on the green panel, which is on the right of the screen, an indispensable piece of information throughout the different phases of the mission. So, David, tell me, what happens if one of the lines or the lights of the panel up there on the screen turn to red? What happens?
Yes, indeed, this panel gives real-time information on different parameters, the weather conditions, the launch base, the launcher, and all other means that are necessary for the launch, the satellites as well. If one of these lights turns red, it means that there is an anomaly that has been detected and needs to be corrected.
And Stefan Israel, we spoke to him earlier on how this launch is a very, very special one. Can you expound on this? I think we're breaking 3 records tonight.
That's right. First of all, performance. The 2 satellites under the fairing have a combined mass of 10,263 kilos, which is a new world record for a GTO launch. The second is the mass of the upper part, including the carrying structures, which is more than 11.2 tons. And last but not least, the launcher is the tallest one ever launched, 56.4 meters for Ariane 5. We have added a 1.5 meter racing cylinder under the fairing.
So now we're going to be watching a story on SES-17, one of the satellites which is going up today in the Ariane 5 rocket.
And if you're just joining us, welcome here to the launch pad. We'll keep that video on the air so you can see what they're talking about. If you're just joining us, though, we're coming up T-minus 27 minutes, 30 seconds until liftoff of tonight's Ariane 5 launch from the French Guiana. Seems like there's a little bit of a time delay on their video here tonight, but some great views there of the rocket out on the pad, ready for a liftoff here. I know lots of people just joining in, so welcome. Let us know where you're watching from in the chat. Couple things, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us out. Well over 1,000 people watching. Let's see, can we get to 1,000 likes before liftoff? I think we can. And make sure to subscribe. It's totally free to do. Make sure you never miss another live launch coverage of SpaceX, Arianespace, Rocket Lab, Astra. We cover them all, and you can catch them all right here on the launch pad. But they're giving you some views of the SES-17 satellite that is on board here tonight. One of 2 satellites on board. SES-17 is the communication satellite for aviation, going out to an orbit of 36,000 kilometers at an inclination of 6 degrees. SES-17 will be the 164th satellite from the Thales Alien Space Company, launched by Arianespace, and there's currently 4 other satellites that are backlogged waiting to launch. The SES-17 satellite is a high-throughput communication satellite. They'll provide coverage over Americas, the Caribbean, and the Atlantic Ocean, and is designed to transform the aviation industry's connectivity landscape to help with data concerns that they've been having in that region. So a very important satellite to be helping there with aviation, but possibly also some marine as well. Lots of you joining in. We got Solar in New Mexico. We got Eric from Brazil. We've got people all over here. We got Yarma in Ontario, Canada, visiting from Kenya. We got Chris in Kansas, Steve in Taos, New Mexico, Al in the Philippines, John in Florida. Great to have you all here. Zuper in Denmark. Love is in Albuquerque. Great to have you all here in the chat. If you're new, subscribe. And if you guys have questions, send those in the chat. We're answering them here live on air for free. Just make sure you tag us at the Launchpad. But if you want to have your question answered next, you can send that over as a super chat. Of course, it'll prioritize your question there. Then, of course, as Stuart says there in the chat, they've got the Syracuse, or we'll see how they say it, Syracuse 4A satellite, which will be a communication satellite for the French military to assist there in the air, on the ground, and floating on the sea communications for their troops in a secure manner. So 2 important satellites here launching from tonight's French Guiana launch complex. I know many people bringing it up in the chat. This is the last Ariane 5 launch before the very historic launch of the James Webb Space Telescope, currently targeting no earlier than December 18th. And of course, you can catch that full launch coverage here on the Launchpad by subscribing. We're going to pre-schedule that live stream here in the next couple of days, so you'll be able to click set reminders so you don't miss that launch. And of course, we'll be able to update that live stream should the date delay at all. Looks like they're showing some commercials or something there on the screen, but you never know what you're going to catch during one of these Road to Space live coverages. Once they bring up that live view, we will check in on the data communication. They're talking about in-air communication. So interesting to see this satellite, possibly in a way as a competitor to Starlink. The idea of being able to connect cruise ships and airliners to high-speed internet. But yes, James Webb launching December 18th. Very exciting launch that know many of you have been asking about here in the chat. If it's your first time here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. We believe explorers can be down here on Earth looking up or exploring in space, so we invite you to be part of it by joining our crew, by being here for future launches, interviews, and our new weekly show coming up in just a couple of weeks. But also join our Discord. It's totally free to do so, and you can do that there. But if you'd like to help support us, we're very excited to be launching Starbase Cam, as well as some other cameras here in the very near future. We can only do that thanks to your guys' supports of Super Chats, Patreon memberships, and YouTube members as well. And as doing that, we help support you by giving you behind-the-scenes access. You can see us editing videos raw, behind-the-scenes setups, and lots of things there. Also, you can check out our Etsy shop. We've got a bunch of new stuff on there for the countdown to the orbital flight test, so check that out as well. We're glad to have you here as well. So definitely send in those questions and we'll be answering them coming up on T minus 22 minutes until liftoff of tonight's Ariane 5. They're continuing to dive a little deeper into the SE-17 SES-17 satellite that's on board here tonight, showing that how they believe that they put 6 or 7 of these into orbit, they can have a large communication network available. Robin H with a super chat there. Thank you so much, saying all okay, throttle up, keep putting lights in the sky, all groovy. Go man go. Thanks for the SpaceX preview of the future. Thank you so much. I'm gonna say, is it Rob or is it Robert? Let me know in the chat if I'm saying your name wrong. Maybe it's just Rob, but thank you so much for that super chat, supporting us in that way. Let's listen in for an update on the status of the rocket.
But David, more than that, we know that SES-17 is equipped with a system that is unique in the world. And that will be put into orbit tonight for the first time. And you know it more than I do, the MPL, mechanically pumped loop. So this is an active thermal control system developed by Thales Alenia Space with ESA and Kinéis, which allows the heat generated by the satellite's equipment to be evacuated to the cold zones and then into space. So David, what is the advantage of this system?
Yes, Emma. So one of the difficulties of space is managing the temperature, because you have extreme variations depending on whether you are facing the sun or not. Mm-hmm. So with this new innovative system, SES-17 is able to better manage this temperature, allowing it to integrate more powerful equipment which dissipates more heat. So the super powerful payloads we are launching tonight are possible thanks to this system.
And SES, we learnt as well, weighs in at 6 tons. It is the first NEO weighing in at over 4 tons, launched by Arianespace. What modification did you have to carry out to ensure that the launcher was able to carry out this mission?
Yes, this satellite is the largest one of the Space Bus NEO family to be launched by Arianespace. But not only it's a heavy bird, but it's also a large one in terms of volume. So in order to have enough volume, we are using the short version of the Silda structure, which is less than 5 meters. And the satellite itself has been designed to fit perfectly inside this volume.
Okay, well, tonight, the second satellite will be sent into orbit. It is called Syracuse 4A. Syracuse 4A is a concentrate of technological, it's very late here, innovations, and was developed by the French Defense Procurement Agency and manufactured by Thales Alenia Space. It inaugurates the new generation of Syracuse constellations, which is being built to secure jamming-resistant military communications between the different military units on land, in the air, and at sea, and with the command center. And in a couple of seconds, we will be watching a report on this absolutely amazing satellite, Syracuse 4. So let's find out more in this report coming up now.
And as you saw on that screen there, is they're going to now talk a bit more about the Syracuse satellite. We'll continue answering your guys' questions. They got music on these videos, so we try not to play them, but we'll keep them on screen so you can see them and get a little information there. But you can see the panel all green, which is a great sign that they are progressing towards liftoff here in about 18.5 minutes from now. All green for the satellite, for the rocket, for the range, and for the ground support systems. So 19 minutes to go there. That really fancy countdown clock in the corner from them. But we're glad to have that there constantly to know where we are in the count. If they ever do go into the hold, sometimes they'll actually color that count to red, just so we have an idea that there is something that they are working while continuing the count. But great to have all of you here in the chat. You're absolutely crushing the likes and the subscribes. It really does help us out. Let's set a crazy goal. Let's just do it. Can we get to 8K subscribers tonight? I think we can. You guys have been crushing it already. Let's see, 8,000 subscribers, maybe before liftoff. Let's see what happens. So that definitely will help us out. We got lots of people joining in the chat. Great to see you all here. I know we had a few questions coming in about the Ariane 5 and why select this rocket. Ariane 5-1 is an incredibly reliable rocket. It works. It is it's just a very reliable rocket. It's the 111th launch of an Ariane 5 in history, and it's trustworthy. Also, as they said, this is a historic launch for just how big of a thing and how far it's going out. So it is definitely a possibility of just the availability of a launch time, a budget, but also just a capability is why they selected this rocket here. Both satellites from the same company, though, have two very different tasks. So that is another reason why you can see them stacked together. This isn't a ride share. They're the same company. Excuse me, launching together there. So that is why they're doing that. They're talking a little bit more about the Syracuse 4A satellite, which is a military communications satellite commissioned by the French military to connect the armed forces while deployed at sea, in the air, and on the ground. The satellite will help with secured and powerful communications, and able to help exchange information with their command centers. It's state-of-art equipment, which is equipped with anti-jamming antennas and digital transparent processors on board, which help guarantee a high resistance to any other nations jamming them, but also them being able to jam those nations. Of course, this satellite will be an assistance to the NATO and all European-led operations, as it is part of the French military. It was developed under the leadership of the DGA in coordination with the Space Command in the French Air and Space Force, as well as other armed forces in NATO. For it. In the coming years, 2 more satellites will be launched to create a constellation, so they will be constantly served. So this is the first of 3 of these satellites that we will see being launched. So very interesting to see there. If you're just joining us, though, take a moment, hit the like, subscribe button, let us know where you're watching, and send in those questions. We'll continue to answer those live here. We got some of our mods. What's the reward for 8K? Well, you'll find out at 8K. We can get to 8,000. There'll be a reward of some sort. We'll see what we do. Maybe a sale on the shop. Maybe we'll give away a t-shirt. Y'all guys will find out at 8K. We got a question here from Jeff saying, out of 111 launches, how many failures? We're just going to verify that on how many we have seen actually fail. So we're quoting you that correct information, pulling this up here. There have been 2 full failures and 3 partial failures that have occurred. And then, of course, tonight's the 111th. So 105 successful launches that have occurred. So that's a really great sign for a rocket. That's an incredible history of it. Now, there were some variations of the Ariane 5. The first variant is the G, then the G+, then the GS, then the ECA, and the ES. And then they were working on another version called the ME, but they did cancel that. So there's been some variants, but 105 successful launches out of 110. A great sign there. Kevin, a movie date with me? No. We'll see. Great to have you all here. If you are asking, we see some questions about reusability. The Ariane 5 is not a reusable rocket. Both the fairing and the rockets will be lost following tonight's launch. Let's listen back in to see if we can get an update. We're seeing on screen there all green across the board for the rocket, for the ground supports, for the 2 payloads, and for the region and the range. It's a great sign as we come below that T-minus 14 minutes until liftoff here tonight. No, it is not launched yet. Nazia, great to see you here. Francis, Macintosh, Jeff, welcome. Great to have you all here in the chat. Ariane 5 is an old concept rocket. Old but functional. It does work out of that history. Tonight's launch is from the French Guiana in just outside of Kourou. We'll pull that up here on the screen for you guys, actually, just super quick, so you have an idea of where tonight's launch is occurring. Here, this is Kourou, and then this is the launch complex here, the French Guiana Space Center and their launch sites. This is where they're launching from. Scrolling out to the world, keep an eye on my cursor, that's the launch site. Gives you an idea of where they will be launching here this evening, and they are launching pretty much straight to the west here tonight. So that's where they'll be launching from. for this evening's launch here in about T-minus 12 and a half minutes from now. Gabrielle, hello from Brazil. Great to see you. Umberto, correct. Yes, in South America there. Let's listen in to hear an update about the status of tonight's mission.
Sunlight as soon as possible after the separation from the launcher, in order to have energy as soon as possible to use their propulsion system. Therefore, with a launch at 10 p.m. local time in Kourou, they will be receiving the morning sunlight when they separate above the Indian Ocean.
Okay, well, that's clear for me. Well, in a few minutes, Syracuse 4A and SES-17, as we say, will take off into space on board Ariane 5 to reach their final destination. Yes, David, some 36,000 kilometers above our heads. The launcher, however, began its preparation campaign journey on the 2nd of September. We have some footage of the campaign, and David, I'd like you to talk it through with us. We have some edited images, which are going to be coming up on our screen in the next 10 seconds or so. Here we go.
Yes, so the launcher arrived in Kourou by boat, crossing the Atlantic. It took about 2 weeks to cross the Atlantic. Once at the harbor in Kourou, it was transported on these big containers on the road and up to the launcher assembly building that you see here, where the teams of Ariane Group started the assembly. You see here the main cryogenic stage with the Vulcan engine, and it is lifted out of its transport container, lifted on top of the building, and then it is integrated on top of the 2 solid boosters that you see here coming out of their preparation building and being transported into the launcher assembly building. You will see the 2 boosters here coming into the second one coming into the building, and once this lower part is integrated, then we have the upper stage that you see here that is put on top of the launcher. Once the launcher is completed, there is a series of tests, electrical tests, fluidic tests that are performed to make sure that everything is good. After that, the launcher comes out of the launcher assembly building and moves a few hundred meters to the final assembly building that you see on the left, where the satellites are waiting to hop on the launcher. The satellites have been prepared in parallel, and they are integrated with the fairing that you see here, and then everything is put on top of the launcher. Once this is done, the launcher is ready, and so the day before the launch, the launcher comes out of the final assembly building and is pushed into the launch zone where the countdown starts.
So it's not only the launchers have made this long journey, these satellites have also made a long journey to get there. SES-17 left the clean rooms of the Thales Alenia space site in Cannes back on, when was it, David? The 22nd of September? It has now been on the Guiana Space Center for a month with its companion Syracuse 4A. And I'd like to remind you all at home that Syracuse 4A is a military telecommunication satellite. Now, I'm just wondering, David, what about the security conditions? Are they reinforced when launching a military satellite? And what are the ramifications for the launch pad in Kourou? Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, Emma. So at the Guiana Space Center, there are, of course, stringent security measures, and it is even more the case for sensitive government satellites as it is the case today. So the satellites are continuously monitored by the customers. They are in limited access zones at all times. And of course, as usual, the Space Center is closely guarded by the French military on the ground, at sea, and in the air, and in particular as we get closer to the launch.
And yes, and we are very close to the launch. We're only a few minutes away from liftoff. So what is happening to the satellites at this time? What are they up to? Are they being looked after?
Yes.
They have a nanny.
Yes, a few minutes before launch, the satellites are sitting comfortably on top of the launcher. The satellites need to keep temperatures within certain limits for their systems to work correctly once in orbit, the propellants, the batteries. So we are now making sure that all these conditions are ready for launch.
So now we're waiting for, thank you very much, David, for that explanation. Now we're waiting for the confirmation of the synchronized sequence from the DDO. The DDO is the Director of Operations in Kourou. Why do we need this announcement?
It's an important announcement because it indicates the start of some important operations just before launch.
Oh, we can hear him. We can hear him in the background.
Right, we just had the confirmation.
Just had the confirmation. 7 minutes. We've just had the confirmation. So we've just heard from the DDO, Director of Operations in Kourou. He has just confirmed the start of the synchronized sequence. Now, how exciting is that? David, can you explain to us what this means and why this moment, well, you're going to explain to me again why this moment is so important.
Yes, it's the start of the last operations before launch, meaning that if for some reason the countdown stops, we have to come back to this 80 - 7 minute mark. So at this point, the final operations are performed. For example, we are pressurizing the tanks to the final pressure that is needed for flight. We are closing all the filling lines. Just a few minutes before launch, the control of the operations will be handed over to the launcher onboard computer, who will control the last events, including the ignition and the engine. The ignition of the engines for liftoff.
So everything is controlled from the Jupiter Control Center, or as I know it's called, the fishbowl, where all the operators are focused on the job at hand. But how would you describe the atmosphere in the control room at this stage of the operations, only minutes away from our launch?
Yeah, right now everyone is obviously fully focused on what they're doing. It's now up to the launcher to confirm that all the parameters are expected, and the green panel is closely monitored. And yes, indeed, we see that there is a red light on the...
Can you tell us exactly, on the right-hand side on the green panel, there's a red...
We are seeing a red light. That's not a good sign.
Yeah, so it's a red on the launch zone. We will check.
What does that imply then?
It means that there is something that is not as expected. And so, yes, we have, for the time being, a red light for the launch. But again, we have a very large window today, so we will check what the anomaly is and come back as soon as...
Well, while they're working that out, I just wanted to ask you a bit about the Jupiter room. We can hear the DDO in the background. It was inaugurated, sorry, it is very late for us here in Paris, in 1996 during Ariane's 82nd launch. It's built like an amphitheater. The public is seated around a wall, which projects the images launch live. Can you talk to us about that? I'm sure you've been there and felt it.
You're just joining us. You're here for our live launch coverage of tonight's Ariane 5 mission. Everything has been progressing well until about 30 seconds ago. We did see one of those things on the tracker transition to a red status. So we are currently translating that so we can understand which exact issue is currently red. Saying that's something to do with the launch set. So some issue there. We'll see if we can get some more information. One thing we did hear about 3 minutes ago was that after that T-7 minute mark, if anything happens, they go hold, they evaluate, deal with the issue, but they do have to reset the clock to T-7 minutes. So we are seeing that clock reset now. We're going to listen in here to seeing an update. If you're new and joining us, welcome here. Take a moment, smash that like button. You guys are smashing our records. I just want to first say thank you. It's so great to have so many of you joining us here tonight. If you're new, we'd cover everything space, all live launch coverage of all of the major flights and the test flights, full Starbase coverage, exclusive coverage of interviews that we do one-on-one, and lots coming soon. So subscribe, like, it really helps us out. 2,500 people watching. You guys are absolutely incredible. Let's see, can we get to 8K subscribes tonight? But let's listen in to an update on the status of the rocket, and we will continue to answer your guys' questions in the chat and during the coast phase.
We find out what has gone on, and we will be back with you shortly. So for this very, very special flight, we just need some time for the technical teams in Kourou to find out what the problem is. See you soon. See you then. Bye-bye.
Well, and just like that, when we tune in to get an update, they take a break because they don't know. Their moderators are in Paris, so they're kind of doing a similar thing to what we're doing. We're launching in one location, but they're moderating from another. But at least we're going to have that live view of tonight's Ariane 5 out on the pad in the French Guiana. But we do have a hold right now. We have a red alert on the countdown system. The final countdown is on hold during the final, chronologically, so they're going to cycle that here. We are holding at T-minus 7 minutes at this time, so make sure to stay with us here. We do have a large launch window here this evening. They have over 4 hours, I believe, in the launch window. Let's just confirm that. Launch window here. Launch window open at 9:01 p.m. Eastern or 1:01 UTC. And is open until 2:30 UTC or 11:30 p.m. So 2.5 hour. Yeah, 2.5 hour launch window here tonight. So while we've got some time, we're going to answer your guys' questions. Take a moment and subscribe for us. It really helps us out. And we'll be answering your guys' questions in the chat. If you have a question that you would like answered, super easy way to get that answered right here live. Type it in the chat, but put at the launch pad in your question. At the launch pad, that makes sure that we see that question and can answer it here. We are currently in a hold for tonight's launch attempt. Tonight, launching from French Guiana, flight 255 of the Ariane Space Ariane 5 launch, carrying 2 communication satellites, 1 commercial aviation communication satellite, and 1 military communication satellite for the French government and French military in support of NATO as well. So not something we wanted to see with James Webb being the next launch. We were really hoping to see a smooth launch sequence here tonight, but this shows that they know their rocket. They keep a close eye on it, and we'll see if it's something to do with the rocket itself. Originally, it sounded like something possibly to do with the range, but we do have some time here for the rocket. We are seeing that is a live view on your screen, though they have the red thing kind of ticking through. That image behind it is live. Sanuch says, thanks for the coverage, highly appreciated. Thanks for being here. They've had 110 launches prior to this, with 105 full successes, 2 full successful failures, and 3 complete failures. So a very safe rocket here tonight. Not an abort, but a hold. Great question there, Alex, for it. They were talking a little bit about the launch complex building. The mission control there shaped kind of like a bowl. A fishbowl. They got mission control in the middle, and guests and viewers can be surrounding them, looking down during the count. And then when it's almost launch time, the side doors open so people can run outside and watch it as well. Cage, love the model collection in the back. Thanks so much. We're working on a brand new website. We're going to go through all the models we have and how you can get some of them as well. Important launch, Ariane 5 carries James Webb. You're spot on there. Texas. Countdown stopped. Peter says counting and banging heard from inside the rocket. We hope not, but we'll see if we get any updates here from Arianespace. We are keeping an eye on their official Twitter communications, which they are normally pretty good, but they did have a red alert, a red hold indication during the final chronological count. But that does not mean that they are done here this evening. We are just in a hold at this time. We're going to quickly just put that on there so people know. Launch in a hold. Stay with us here. They are waiting to see if they can reset that clock and survive whatever the issue was. Sometimes we see this was, a boat came in the range, or different things like that. So they want to stay safe, keep an eye with what was going on, and go from there. Nazia is asking how much time left. They have 2 hours left, 2.5 hours in their launch window. Their launch window officially opened 2 minutes ago. So they are still got lots of time left for them to be able to have a launch attempt here this evening. Grab something to put on the screen here. A brief. So we're keeping a close eye on this communications, see if any updates from them occur. Apparently, it was a violation of the launch zone, what we're hearing, which means the range we would normally hear from NASA. So we'll keep an eye on that. True It question: thoughts on the Bill Nelson interview? I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to take a look at that. Alucia's issue with the range, so something entered the launch region. Yep. So we do have a range violation. So that's something that should be very easy to clear up. And then they will be able to continue with the launch sequence. And a good sign about that being a range violation is it's nothing to do with the rocket. They just put the rocket on pause and then resumed the launch there. Jim, I remember one shuttle launch was almost aborted due to a bat setting up roost in the launch tower. Fortunately, it flew off. It's incredible, some of the things that can scrub a launch, but we'll have to take a look and get final confirmation. But we are hearing that it was a range violation. This Van Hoot, I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. Since when does the FAA have any jurisdiction in the French Guiana? The FAA has jurisdiction for any U.S. company or U.S. launch. And the French Guiana, if I wonder why they would be involved, the FAA, in the French Guiana. It's a French territory. Is it not? I'm not sure why the FAA would have they wouldn't have jurisdiction. If you're asking why, if Starship moved there, would they have jurisdiction? It's because SpaceX is an FAA or SpaceX is a US company. So then the FAA would have some jurisdiction. But over the regular space, they would not. True It, you should watch now with everyone. It was monumental, only 2 minutes. I'd rather watch it first and then be able to just know what we're coming for. Artemis is due to launch February 2022. You are correct there. Very exciting hearing some launch timelines finally for the launch of the Artemis missions. The first window will be in February. We are hearing with some of the reviews, they're most likely going to be actually targeting the April launch window, but we've got a February, a March, and an April launch time for Artemis. Notorious Gaming just found your channel. Welcome. Great to have you here. Thanks for being here. See here. If you're just joining us, though, welcome. You're watching our live launch coverage of tonight's Ariane 5 launch. There was a hold called. We did receive a red status on the count clock there at about T-minus 4 minutes due to what we are hearing as a range violation, which is a good thing, though. That means they just need to send out security, clear out the range, and then they'll be able to progress with the timeline. They do have a 2.5 hour launch window, which just opened a few minutes ago, so lots of time for that to consider. Simple, where do the boosters land? They'll be landing in the ocean, so the South Atlantic Ocean. George, I think the SLS is an elaborate front. Oh my, that's interesting. The Long March 3B is going to lift off at the same time. Is there a Long March launch tonight? Didn't think there was one occurring this evening. Yes, there's one launching in about 6 minutes from now. A China launch, but I don't believe there's any live view of that. Let's see if we can find something for you here of that really quickly. But we are keeping a live view of the Ariane 5. This is a live view on your screen of the rocket sitting out on the pad as it is in a hold. due to a range violation here this evening. But at this point, we are not seeing any, no China feeds available, unfortunately. But there is a Long March 3B launching in about 6 minutes from now. Heather Dupe is asking, are they required to recover the boosters from the ocean? That's a great question. I do not believe so. I believe a lot of the times these boosters are things that just descend and kind of become garbage in the ocean. So we should, they'll be able to do that there. MJ, should I have another slice of pizza? The answer is always yes. Absolutely. Greg saying the China launches. Yeah, a lot of the launches, a lot of them are military too, so they don't have cameras. We're also very, we're very exposed to having views because of Arianespace and SpaceX, but that's not something that's required. This is something that's very new to have this type of access, so we'll have to see. Bill asking, am I going to Mars? One day. One day will be, one day orbit in the moon, yes. Mars is a maybe, we'll have to see. The Rio just subscribed, watching from New Zealand. Thanks so much for doing so. You guys are just joining us. Take a moment. I know many of you did earlier, but lots of new people joining in. Let us know where you're watching from. If it's your first time here, let us know that as well. We'd love to welcome you here. Your first time here at the Launchpad. It's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. And we believe explorers, as we say, can be here on Earth looking up or exploring the stars in space. And we invite you to join our crew because we believe space is better together, and you can do so by liking and subscribing. That really does help us out, as well as checking out our Discord. We love talking about space all the time. Our Discord is totally free to join. We promise that always over 50% of our Discord will be available to the public with live chats and things happening in there. But if you do want to help support what we do, you can get access to our behind the scenes, starting at just $1.99, raw video editing, scripting, early video access, depending on the tier that you select there. So take a minute and join that. We're going to check out the Discord here. Spike, thanks for joining. A few other new people joining as well. So we'll give a shout out to those joining the Discord there. We've got Clifton watching from Pittsburgh, Starship in the USA, H20 base in Michigan, Devin from Canada, first time. Thanks, Devin. Great to have another Canadian in here. For those that are new, I'm up in Edmonton, Canada, so great to have all of you here. We've got Christophe in French Guiana, great time. Tony, first time here from the UK. Alan is in Eugene, Oregon, been there many, many times. Jay, first time in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for being here. M. Scott, this is not a manned mission. Tonight's mission is 2 satellite communication systems. One is for the French military, and the other is for aviation over the Americas and the ocean there. Catherine is a new subscriber. Thanks so much there. Wesley, North Pole. Francis in Portland, Oregon. We got Mayor Darth in LaGrange, Georgia. Max, can't believe the web is going to launch on an Ariane. Why is that, Max? I'd love to hear why you're shocked to hear that there. That dude watching from Jacksonville, great to have you here. We got Jim in Fort Worth, Texas. Thanks for being here. We have not heard any confirmation of what violated the range at this time. We are waiting to hear any updates from Arianespace. It's been about 12 minutes since the range violation for it, so we are keeping an eye when it happens. But at this point, we are still awaiting for confirmation of them clearing the range, and then they'll be able to resume the count. David, first time from the Bahamas, thanks for being here. You've got the Long March channel on that channel. Let's take a look. Thanks for that. Take a look and see if we can find that there for you guys. Launching in just a couple of minutes. You're just joining us, though. Take a moment. Send in those questions. We'll be glad to answer those for you guys as we count down and await tonight's Ariane 5 launch here in the next, hopefully, couple of minutes. But at this time, we are in a hold T-minus 7 minutes, waiting for a clear range to develop. Also, we know that there has been a China launch that is set to take place in about 1 minute from now, a Long March 3B, but we do not know what is on board. David, first time from Bahamas. Thanks for being here. A whole bunch of you from Suriname, which is so awesome, which is just next door. It's super great to see. First time from Germany. Thanks for being here. We are keeping the raw audio patched in from the Arianespace, just in case we hear any updates. Conan just off from Hawthorne. Awesome. Dennis from Newcastle. We got lots of new people. So great to see all of you here. John from Bush, Alaska. Great to have you guys here. Mars is a great channel. This guy doesn't miss anything. I appreciate that, Mars. Liberty Dude, thanks so much for that super chat. Please tell Jeff Bezos he's in the wrong site and to clear the range. Oh my goodness, Liberty Dude. Maybe he's bored. You know, not at Amazon anymore. They didn't win the lunar lander. Maybe they're a little bored there. See what happens. Lee is in Southeast Portland. Great to have you here. Groovy in Austin, Texas. Thanks for being here. Simpleton is at the repurposed ICBM. Are you meaning the Long March launch? Not too sure. We got Andres in Norway. Kevin's in Ontario. We got to the Dr. Jones from Calgary. Great to see another Albertan in here. How many countries have joined this event so far? That's a great question, Azir. We were looking at the channel. In 2021, we have had... let's see it in the chat, actually. Take a moment. Guess how many countries have joined a YouTube stream with us this year. I will let you know there are 195 registered countries. 193 of them are recognized by the United Nations and 2 that are not. But let's go. 195 countries. Let us know in the chat. How many do you think have watched the Launchpad stream or video this year? We do have a number from earlier today. You guys have questions about anything space, we'll open it up. Doesn't have to be just about the Ariane 5 or tonight's launch, but you can send in any questions. Just make sure you tag us at the Launchpad, and we'll be answering those here for you tonight, and then we'll go through another run through about what tonight's launch currently is. But send in those questions. Let's see your guesses. 103, 68, 67, 98, 18, 56, 123. That's awesome. 125 countries. Remember, there's 195 countries in the world. How many do you think we have seen join the stream here? 42, says Kevin. 76, 66, 107, 165. We're getting close there. 150, we're close. 107. Arnar, 196. Oh, I wish. 196. Maybe the space station tuning in there? Absolutely. You guys are amazing. I'm excited to say 158 countries have tuned in since January 1st, which is absolutely incredible. Let's be honest, probably 150 have tuned in tonight. You guys are joining us from all over the world, and we're glad that you're here. So take a moment and subscribe. We want to see, can we get to that 8K subscriber mark before we actually go live? You guys are absolutely crushing it. When I started the channel, we started January 1st, for those that are new to the channel. The Launchpad did not exist until January 1st this year. It's been quite a year, but I had set an original goal of 250 subscribers by the end of the year. I did 100, and then I didn't think that was big enough, so I did 250 to push. And you guys have blown me away with the support. We're excited to have grown our team, and have some other people joining us for commentary and new shows coming soon. But yeah, 158, blowing it away. We got a few questions coming in here. Spacey Games, Jeff might get the lander since NASA is going to choose a second lander because the Senate. Yep, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see how NASA operates with that. We've been working on a Space News update to resume doing those, but we're waiting to get a little more confirmation on that. Mars, the Space Launch app now just sent me a notification saying that the launch window will reopen at 9:15 p.m. Eastern. That was 3 minutes ago. So that would say that they're still open. So I'm not sure what that's meaning. Heather's asking, how many years until public space travel? Are you meaning like you can just go to like a spaceport and board, Heather? Is that what you're talking about? I think for that, I want to say 10. I want to say 10 for us to get that far. But we'd have to wait and see there. Carl, I have a question, Smarty Pants. How long will the Ariane 5 be transonic? Ooh. I don't have that one memorized, but I'm going to find an answer. That's a great question. Ooh, that's a really good question. Not even sure if that's a number that's normally known. That's a fantastic question. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you guys have an answer for that one. How long is an Ariane 5 transonic? I've got all the data of the engines. I mean, we could calculate it, but I don't have an exact answer for that. That is a fantastic question there from, I just totally lost your comment, but thank you so much for that that question. Trying to catch up here on it. Matthew, I've never heard of you before, but after watching this stream for a while, now I've got to say this channel is pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Matthew. I appreciate that. Got a bunch of people guessing that 0.6 of a country watched. Interesting. Dennis, first time on your channel from Oak Forest, Illinois. Thanks so much, Dennis. Great to see you. One of the running lights is being replaced. We do not have an official update on the countdown yet, and no communications that we've seen just as of yet from Arianespace. But we are waiting for that. They are continuing the stream, which is a good sign. We heard that it was a range violation. Starship Zone, do you think the FAA will approve SpaceX by next month? I do not. With the fact that they have until November 1st for the public to submit their public approval, I do not believe that we would see a FAA launch license issued. There's a lot of steps left to do. Personally, I think we are now looking January at the absolute earliest if everything goes well. Now, Elon tweeted a couple days ago that they will be ready to launch next month, given regulatory approval goes through. So we'll have to wait and see if SpaceX tries to push it. So it'll be interesting to see. Jeff at the launch pad, who are you? That's a great question, Jeff. My name's Zach. I'm the founder and host here of the launch pad. I am a part-time sort of business student. I run two companies myself. One, the launch pad, and another is in an event ministry organization. But obviously, with the pandemic, can't do events right now as easily. So we've done some online stuff. But super passionate about space. Have been since I'm a kid. I've sent my name to the moon and Mars numerous times, along with many of my family. I've had the privilege of talking to the International Space Station a number of times from this room through ham radio, and excited to hopefully do that in the future. And yeah, just a super big space fan that know one day I'll cross that Kármán line and hopefully in the near future. So excited for that. Catherine, off by 3, said 155. So close. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. 158 and 198. Absolutely crazy to have that join. But people are excited about space. Currently, we've been holding for about 20 minutes at this point. We'll start a timer here. We are at about 23 minutes or so into this hold. We're going to have to see if we hopefully have an update here in the future soon. If you guys have questions, keep sending those in. We're glad to answer those. Can be related to anything space, and we'd love to have you here with us. Diamond, you're good because you cover launches others YouTube channels don't. Well, thanks, Diamond. You can't call yourself the launch pad if you don't cover all the launch pads. So as long as, if we can get a camera feed, we 99.9% of the time will be live. I can't promise all the time. You know, things happen, but we will always strive to be live for you guys. We do know that Arianespace is, of course, working on their Ariane 6 launch rocket as well. They normally do an update. We didn't hear an update just as of yet for this, so we'll have to wait and see what it is. But keep sending in those questions. We'll be glad to answer them. Stuart, I'm sure it was mentioned in the video package before. Oh, how long it was transonic? I don't think so, but we'll see. IT with Liam, would you like me to do a data sheet today? If you'd like to. I don't know what you would do it on, but sure, that could be interesting. If you're just joining us, we're about 25 minutes into a hold here of tonight's Ariane 5 launch, carrying 2 communication satellites to a record-setting orbit for Arianespace. So we're excited to see that. A couple people asking what chronology means. It is the arrangement of events or data points that things have to happen in a sequence. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Chronologically, you have to go through those. You can't go 1, 3, 2, 7, 5. So that is what it means. So while they were going through that count, there was an issue at one point. If I were them, you'd sell advertising, put it in the corner. Yeah, it could be an option. Might be a GSE issue. At this point, maybe there's a secondary issue. I don't think it would take this long to clear the range, but that was what the violation was. So we're having to keep an eye on that. Christmas 2022 Starship launch, that'd be cool. It'd be very interesting to see. Trying to catch up on your guys' questions here. Keep sending those in. Make sure you tag us at the launch pad. Helps us make sure that we don't miss any of them as they come in. Matt, thanks for distracting me from my astrophysics homework. Matt, go do your homework, and then when you hear us, go, it's happening, then come back. But go do your homework. Go do your homework. Super fun, Alex. What's the name of the pad that the rocket is launching from? Where is it located, and what country? Well, we can pull it up actually on the screen here for you guys. They are launching out of Kourou, or just outside of it, in the French Guiana. We'll pull up the live view here as we await tonight's launch. Again, so here is Kourou. Here is the launch complex itself. A little bit of a pixelated image, but this is the Space Center. Let's see. Is there street trips at all? No. It was worth the hope. Oh, there might be a few. Let's see. Do we get a view? Hey, there we go. That's the, there's the entrance of the Space Launch Center. There we go. See, we all went together. But this is Space Center. There's some stuff there. And then they do have, you can see the actual launch sites kind of down this road here a little bit. So there's the complex. But keep an eye on my cursor. That's going to show you where they are. Keep an eye on the cursor. Zooming out here. Right there. Here's Kourou. We don't want that there, but there we go. Zooming out. French Guiana is in the northeastern tip. South America kind of there, just before Brazil. Gives you a little bit of an idea compared to the world where they're going. They're going to be launching straight to the east. I know I said west last time. Straight east out of there today. But that's where they're going to be launching from the French Guiana Space Launch Center there. That's a great question. Aravel, do you think we'll see an Ariane 6 launch in 2022, or is it likely it'll slip to 2023? We haven't had a ton of updates about the Ariane 6, so it's a little hard to guess at its current status on where it is. I know they were targeting 2022 for a launch. It's been in development since the early 2010s, but we were hearing a late 2022 launch window. So it'll be interesting to see when that actually does occur, and if they'll be able to reach that launch window. Originally, it was supposed to be 2020, with the first one going into production in 2019, but there was some delays there, but it is in production now, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, but I don't have a guess. I think we could see one out of the pad. Does it launch? Maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Simpleton, I give Starship 50-50 chance as it's a prototype. Yeah, let's see. Let us know in the chat. Let us type it in. When do you think we will see the Starship orbital flight test? We were talking about it a little bit earlier. Elon says they'll be ready next month, which is mid-November. The FAA is still obviously doing their environmental review, and the NASA issuing a launch license. When do you think? NASA at one point talking about the heat shields, or star bricks they're calling them, was saying that it could launch. There'll be a launch opportunity in March where they could review the tiles a little better. So let us know in the chat when you think we may see that launch occur. We, of course, will be down at Starbase bringing you full launch coverage of the orbital flight test. Super chat from Liberty Dude again. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Apparently, Jeff's grip on the rocket is stronger than anticipated. Maybe. I just want to check something here. I am so sorry. Greg Albright. Greg, I did not even get a notification about this. I am so sorry. Greg, that $50 super chat. Thank you so much. I don't know how I missed that. Go through the chat. The chat's just flying. Thank you for that support. That is so generous in helping what we do here. I appreciate that. I hope you were still here and not offended that I didn't say it 18 minutes ago. So sorry about that, but thank you so much. That's so generous. Thank you guys for the support here tonight, breaking so many of our records, smashing some of the subscription numbers as well. So thank you for that. Let's see, can we get to that 8K number here tonight? Engage that subscribe button. It does really help us out. Paul, will you be setting up your own cameras in Boca Chica? Yes, we will, Paul. We are in the process of setting up our own 24/7 Starbase cams, as well as some other cameras. And then, of course, we will be setting up our portable TLP studio when we're down there for the orbital flight test. So, absolutely, we will be having those. Our goal is to have our 24/7 cams up by the end of the year, but we're working on it. There's a lot to make those happen. We want to make sure they're of quality. We could set up a camera tomorrow if we wanted to, but we want to make sure it's a good camera, great zoom, and things like that. Dennis is asking, what's the angle of inclination? They're launching 6 degrees here today. Let's see your guys' thoughts for it. James is thinking early next year for Starship. Stealth mode, January or February. Starship says in 2 months. Augustine, December 15th. Very specific. Dale says March. To do early 2022, lots of those. Mars, February to April. Or Jim, February, March. Jimmy, March. Jeff, March is my guess. Chandler, it was supposed to be July. Correct, Chandler. That was the initial first launch date. We've had some information about a number of launch dates that they had set specifically, but they keep getting pushed due to regulations, but also development and testing. So we'll have to wait and see what occurs. April is your best guess, says Avreveal. Great thing there. Awesome seeing you guys shouting it out in the chat there. Thanks, Greg, as well. John, are the Ariane 5 boosters still recoverable? If so, any idea if there's a plan to recover the SRBs, or has that been deemed a complete cost ineffective? We haven't heard if they're going to recover them. We don't normally hear if they are recovering the boosters or not. It was something that they had done previously, but from what we know right now, no, the boosters are not recovered, and neither are the fairings. Oh, Marcus. Keep bringing up me eating a hat. You're never going to let that go, are you? No. Great to see you all joining in the Discord there. Alice, welcome. Eveloy, welcome. Lots of new people. Feel free to let us know a little bit more about yourself. Catch up on some more of your questions. Starship Zone, you should do a stream with NASA spaceflight one day. Maybe one day. We'll see if they ever invite us on. You know, join them on a NASA spaceflight live or something. See what happens. I'm Jason. Why is it on hold again? And what was red? So it was a range violation. Went red at T-minus 4 minutes. We are now sitting at 35 to 40 minutes into tonight's hold. So we are keeping an eye on that. No update as of yet, though. SAS Aerospace at Marcus. Wow, 1.4K viewers. That's crazy. Congrats. Thanks, SAS. Yeah, it's they really smashed it earlier. 2.5K. 2,500 people were in this stream earlier. You guys are amazing. To the 1,400 of you still hanging out, thanks so much for not leaving. We're answering your guys' questions, kind of stalling some time as we await for that event here. Liberty Dude, oh my goodness, a $25 super chat for the legal defense fund in case Blue Origin slander suit, aka for the launch camera fund. Thank you so much, Liberty Dude. That support is so generous. Thank you. I really do appreciate you being here in the chat, so active. But your super chats tonight, you just one after another. Thank you so much for it. Trying to catch up on the questions here. Let's see here. Lee, do they have plans to build recoverable boosters someday? They did test the recoverability, but it's an expensive thing, so we'll have to see. Into the Cosmos, Zach's gonna eat a hat. Oh my goodness, you guys keep going. Absolutely, John. We always try to reply as much as we can. Lee, please define a range violation. So the range is the area of land and air around a launch site. So they build basically the sphere dome. Sometimes it's more of a column, depending on the altitude of it, if it's a full launch for it. But if it's a test, it's more of a dome. But for tonight, so there'll be this column of space from the ground up. No one can enter. That's your range. And if someone violates that range, you can't launch the rocket because you don't know what it is. There's a lot of sensors that determine that. So a range violation can be anything from a bird to a plane to a car. At Starbase, we saw a lot of boats in the early days that just accidentally, someone on a canoe, floated by and violated the range, and that stopped a static fire test. So there's lots of things that can cause that. Francis, thank you so much. Welcome as a VIP spectator. Thanks for joining our crew. I appreciate that. You're incredible for your support in that way. Thank you so much. If you guys would like to go a little bit behind the scenes and know more about what we do and get some live views of us editing or scripting or things like that, consider helping support as a YouTube member or a Patreon member. You can do so with the links, patreon.com/thelaunchpad, or click join. They start at just $1.99 a month, and that gets you access. Francis, if you are in the Discord, if you can message Marcus or Ben or myself or any of the other mods, we'll make sure that we upgrade your Discord status to that correct tier, so you can have the behind the scenes access that you should have. Thank you so much for that support there. Carl, want fire now? We all want a launch now. We all do. Right now, it is 40 minutes into their 2.5-hour launch window, so we do have quite a bit of time left for them to be able to recycle, and hopefully we will hear something soon. Okay, here we go. We have an update 5 seconds ago. A measurement related to the pressurization system of the main Cryogenic stage is being tested. So we do have an update here. Pull this up on the screen for you guys. Update from Arianespace, just issued there. Measurement related to the pressurization system in the main tank is being tested. Stay tuned. So they are working an issue on the actual rocket. It is not just a range violation at this time. There is actually an issue with the rocket, but they do have about 2 hours, just under 2 hours left in their launch window for that to occur. SAS, wow, it's truly amazing. I remember the lives when there were 30 people. I remember those too. They were not that long ago. Absolutely crazy. We are keeping that live view up as we go, but they are doing some testing of a pressurization system there. We'll see if we can pull up our double feed here as we await some testing here. So we'll go to this view here. That way you can see that live view of the rocket as well. But pressure testing underway of one of the systems of the rocket. JA, thank you so much for that super sticker of a guy and a bird high-fiving. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting us in that way. Very little vapor from the LOX venting. Because it's sitting, but that might have been some of the testing we were seeing there. So if you're wondering why I'm looking this way, we've got a big monitor setup. We got multiple monitors, so my live view's over here. That's why I was looking at the bigger screen there. Yeah, we're seeing a little bit of venting there. Very good call out. Jason, welcome to the Discord. Johnny, welcome. Be great to have you here. If you have joined as a VIP spectator, if you can message Marcus or Ben in the Discord and just message them a screenshot of you as a spectator joining, they'll be able to upgrade that for you here. But finally, an update here from Arianespace, or Space, depends who you talk to. That we have a issue with the rockets. They are going through some testing, and we'll hopefully have an update here in the near future. Catching up on your guys' question. Starship, I think when NASA mentioned the tile review for SpaceX, they were thinking S21, S21. Excuse me about there. Yeah, that's what I thought originally, was that S21 was maybe what they were referring to. I mean, it's so far along in development too, but the way S20 is going, depending how that launch license comes through, that is definitely what we'll see occur there. Okta is asking what's being launched. It's a great question. Tonight they are launching 2 communication satellites, one for the French military for communications secured, as well as jamming frequencies available, and the other is for aviation for communications as well there. Tip Top Coast asking, is the last Ariane 5 before James Webb? That is correct there, Tip Top. Last one there. The Phantom rocket, aren't they developing a reusable rocket called the... I don't believe so. I have not heard of anything really there, but might be a very early development. To Canadians say SPAS. No, but half the time they do on the stream. X2, isn't it realistic to say NASA is looking for a Starliner replacement? Officially, they're saying no. Unofficially, most likely there's discussions. Absolutely. Carl, where are we taking off from? We are launching from French Guiana. We'll pull it up on our screen here. From Kourou, I'll pull on the screen. This is the town, and then right next to it is the launch facility. And we'll zoom this out to give you an idea of where they're launching out from the world. Keep an eye on my cursor, dead center of your screen. That is where they're launching from here into the world. Straight from here, straight to the east. Oh, great question there. Glad to be able to pull that up. It was a little bit easier of a view rather than just saying it. Stuart, yes, the Callisto is a German military, and they will use that info to help build the next area. Interesting. Good to know there, Stuart. Thank you. I'm going to save that information, and we'll see what happens there. You're just joining us, though. Welcome to our live launch coverage of tonight's Ariane 5 launch. We are now 45 minutes into a hold, originally for what we heard was a range violation. Now hearing that Arianespace is having some measurements taken in relation to the pressurization system of the main cryogenic stage. So kind of an important part of the rocket. We are keeping an eye on that here this evening as we wait for more updates and hopefully a resumption of the count. We just got that update about 5 minutes ago. If you're new, take a moment, engage that like and subscribe button. Really does help us out. We're going to stay live until we have some updates here for tonight's launch, but we'll continue answering your guys' questions. Dustin's asking, how many countries are developing spacecrafts right now? That's a big question, because there's a lot of countries developing spacecrafts together as well. Also depends what type of spacecraft. You're talking deep space, suborbital, orbital, all that. But there's probably easily 40 or 50 rockets in development at this time. Not all will come to fruition, but there's probably a good 15 or so right now that are definitely going to come to life in the next about 5 years. Far right middle of his picture looks like a Lego lunar lander. It is a Lego lunar lander, right there. That is the Lego lunar lander set. Great little kit there. SAS, thank you so much for that super chat. You're awesome, Zach. I appreciate that. Thanks, SAS. You've been here since early on. Appreciate it. Jim says there's like 200 pressure sensors in cryo tanks. They're making sure the readings agree before resuming. Exactly. You got to make sure it's right, especially for a launch like this. It's a history-making launch for them. Also, could you imagine if they had a failure now and James Webb was up next? Could you imagine the delay that would cause? James Webb would probably not launch for years at this point. Kevin likes Rocket Labs. Well, we should have a Rocket Lab launch coverage for you in early November as they're heading out to the pad. Mars, do you think calling the hold caused the problem with the rocket, or are they separate problems? Great question there, actually. I'm not too sure. I'm not sure. It is a longer hold. It is something we know that they're able to do. But I'm not too... that's a good question. Probably not, but it's always a possibility. Brant, if you are joining us, I saw your question over on Discord. Yes, send a message and I'll be able to update that for you. Send a message like in the YouTube chat. Vulcan is going to be 2022 at the earliest. Absolutely, Stuart. Vulcan's going to be a great launch system to see happen. Jim, that would probably put them back about 2 years. I think at least if they had an issue with tonight's launch, it would be a large delay. X2 Rocket Lab's doing 2 launches, and red will mean recovery. Correct. Yeah, we have at least they will have a few more they want to squeeze in this year, but we're gonna have to wait and see how that will occur here. If you're just joining us, you're watching our live launch coverage of Ariane 5. We are in a hold for about 50 minutes at this point due to what was originally a range violation. And now what we're hearing is some issues with the main cryogenic stage. It's going through some testing of its pressurization system, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Santusha is Santusha? I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Do you know if the rocket was completely assembled in Kourou? That's a great question. I haven't dived into the entire process of the development, like the actual printing, but I believe so. That's a good question. I do not know that one. I'm not sure. Maybe Marcus or Brant, any of you in the chat, maybe have an idea of what is occurring there. And let us know. It'd be great to have you here. Liberty Dude, another one. Oh my goodness. 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Future you just announced the countdown is back on. T minus 7 minutes and 27. Wait, what? 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Future you just announced the countdown is back on. T minus 7 minutes and counting. Okay, I've got a timer running from the second I properly read that. See what happens. See what happens, Liberty Dude. If that happens, can you also message me the winning lottery numbers for the next launch? That would be really great. Lee's asking, explain how launches go east to use the Earth's rotational speed. A great question there from Lee about some kind of orbital dynamics and how that occurs. Obviously, we know the Earth rotates counterclockwise for it. So if a rocket launches to the east, it gets another boost because of the way gravity's turning. So if the rocket was to head the same direction as the orbital motion, it would actually lose some of its speed. So if it goes the opposite, it gets a bit of a boost there for it. So that's a very basic breakdown of it. But that's why they launched the east. It's opposite the direction of the Earth. You're actually getting technically more movement than you would the other way, chasing the Earth. Just like flights, you know, if you're rotating and you're going this way, you kind of go with the Earth, and it'll take longer than if you're going the opposite direction. For the same amount of time, you'll travel a little bit more distance. Not a lot in flights, but a little bit. Pronounce your name properly. Awesome. Great to see. Stuart, it'll resume when it does. Absolutely. Alucius, great that we use our $500 to $1,000 phones for timers. I use mine as an alarm clock. It's true. Also, not $1,000. I wish it was $1,000 more than that. What's amazing is this has way more tech than what sent us to the moon the first time, which is so incredible that has happened. But absolutely incredible. SAS, whenever you get a chance, could you check the Discord DMs? Absolutely. Give me a second, and I will do so. The Phantom rocket, just Googled it. They're developing a suborbital vehicle called Callisto, help gather data for a reusable vehicle called Ariane next. Thanks, Phantom Rocket. That's great to know. We'll try to look into that and maybe do a little video on that. That's good to know there. There's so many rockets in development, it's hard to keep track of all of them. James says, if they do have issues with the web launch, could they opt to go with another rocket company? Theoretically, yes, but it would take a lot of redevelopment. James Webb was designed to fit in the fairing of Ariane 5, the way it's set to be closed and secured during the launch, because you don't just put it in and close the fairing. Like, there is technically still supports within it. So there is a lot that goes into that. Theoretically, could it happen? Yes. Would there be a lot of work to make it happen? Yes. It'd be probably just as much of a delay to do a new rocket as it would just be to wait for another Ariane launch. Henry, YouTube recommended this randomly. What are they launching? Is it a military kit? Well, thanks, Henry, for checking us out. We are watching for an Ariane 5 launch here tonight, which I can pull up here. This is the Ariane 5 rocket on your screen, mission 255. It's going to be launching from the French Guiana Space Center, so in the northeastern part of South America, launching 2 satellites tonight, a aviation communication satellite and a military satellite and jammer for the French military. So that's the launch tonight. Thanks for checking us out, though. We cover all launches here on the Launchpad, as well as exclusive interviews and full Starbase coverage as well. So feel free to subscribe if you're interested in space. We'd love to have you here as well. Lee, West Coast launches are usually for polar orbits. We do see that quite often. We've seen them out of the East Coast as well, off Space Coast recently with a few Starlinks for the first time in 60 years. But normally speaking, we do see it off of Vandenberg for those. Ryan, subscribe, do more videos. The space news updates will be resuming tomorrow. I will say that here. We're going to resume those tomorrow because we've got a couple space updates to announce. One will be an update on Lucy. What is the payload for the Long March rocket? We do not know. It was not released, so we do not have information on what was on board that Long March rocket here that was set to have launched a little while ago. Augustine, if the launch gets scrubbed, will James Webb leave? Nope, James Webb is there. James Webb's not going anywhere for now. But if this gets delayed and gets delayed too long, we could see that impact the James Webb being delayed. But we're still got quite a bit of time before I think we're needing to have that discussion. Liberty Dude, you only got about 3 more minutes for me to say that they're going to resume that count. Let's see what happens. You're so close to 8K. Get used to seeing me in the chat. I will look forward to seeing you in the chat, X2. Thanks for being here. Henry, start the music and light that firework. I guess I could have put a little music on while we waited, couldn't I? You can turn a little bit of music on while we're listening. We'll turn it down so it's not too loud. Makes it a little more enjoyable than just my voice. The real YT, I told my mother the same thing about phones and more tech than the first moon landing. Yeah, the entire Saturn V system, mission control, the tech on the lander, all the calculations was done on something dumber than our phone. In fact, our smartwatches are now starting to beat all that they use, which is quite amazing to see. Steven has tried to launch. Did I miss that? There was no live stream of that launch, so unfortunately we don't have any live views of that. But we, from what we didn't hear of a cancellation. China doesn't normally talk a lot. Chase asking, where do you get the models? A few different places. We got some from our friends over at Bohimzo over on Etsy, as well as from Starship Balls on Etsy as well. We're launching a new Launchpad website here in the next few weeks, and we're going to have a full studio tour, a breakdown of everything in the studio, as well as the models, and you guys will be able to have the direct links to each model if you want to pick them up. There are some size options as well with the larger models. If you don't have room for 5-foot tall models, there are some smaller ones available. Heather asking, what is James Webb? James Webb is a space telescope. So if you've heard of Hubble, Hubble launched over 30 years ago. James... Okay. Liberty Dude, do you work for... Okay, this is weird. This is... Stop. This is weird. I don't like this. Liberty Dude donated 10 minutes ago saying 9 minutes and 27 seconds in the future, you will announce that the countdown is back on, T-minus 7 minutes and counting. We just got a tweet from Arianespace saying, checklist done, liftoff planned, 2:10 UTC. This just came. Here's the tweet. I'm not kidding. This happened. Here's my countdown. See lap 2? There's lap 2. It's probably not very clear. That's 8 minutes, 30 seconds. And I started that probably 30 seconds after I got the super chat, which is probably about 30 seconds after you sent it. It takes time to process. That's weird. That's weird. Who are you, Liberty Dude? Who are you? But we're not in a hold anymore. We are sitting at T-minus, I'm not going to say 7 minutes, but 10 minutes and counting for tonight's launch. That's a little weird. Drop some comments of how you guys feel about that. I don't know how to feel about that. Liberty Dude says, Viva la France, and pass the launch button. That's weird. I don't know how to feel about that. But we have a launch countdown. We are resuming the count here, aiming at 10 minutes after the top of the hour. So we will see what happens. Conan, a super chat. Liberty Dude, tell us more. Yeah, Liberty Dude, if you are worth any of the space agencies, it would be an honor to have you join for an interview if you're allowed to do one. We'd love to talk with you about general space or something specific. So get in contact with us. That's can you imagine if Liberty Dude did that as a joke and this actually worked? That's kind of creepy. We'll see what happens. But if you're just joining us, welcome to our live launch coverage of Ariane 5. We're going to take a moment, update everyone over on the socials that we are resuming the count. Take a moment, share out the broadcast as well. Let people know that the count is resuming, and that we are back for it here tonight.
Well, we're now back on air. Welcome back to Road to Space. It is 4 o'clock in the morning here in Paris. David, well, we're going to be restarting. Let's talk about that green panel, which was red before when we left before, and now it's completely green. Can you tell us? This is really good news. But do you have any more information about the red line we saw before?
Yes, so there was an information of one of the pressure readings of the main stage of the launcher that was a bit unusual. So of course we decided to stop and to check and to check that everything was okay. There were some additional tests performed, and the tests were okay. So we decided to continue.
So here we hear the DDO. He's about to confirm the synchronized sequence. We're at 7 minutes.
That's right.
It's not. He hasn't said anything, but he sounds like he's about to. This is very exciting, David.
Yes, he should announce shortly the restart at 80 minus 7 minutes. That's right.
We did see the panel was completely green,
That's
which is
correct.
such good news. We don't want to risk a second red, that's for sure. So we're looking now. We're looking at the DDO on the left hand.
Yes, it should be
We're
a
just
few
about
seconds.
we're just about to have confirmed the synchronized sequence by the DDO. We can see him there on the left-hand side of our screen with the glasses and his mask, of course. Director of Operations in Kourou. And we're waiting for him to restart the launch synchronization at minus 7 minutes.
Le nouvel âge de revisée est 2h10 TU.
And yes, we just got the confirmation right now. He just announced the 80 minus 7 minutes, and therefore the launch time
Brilliant.
will be
At what time?
will be at 4:10 here.
So
in
if you're
Paris,
just joining us,
meaning,
welcome here to the launch pad. You're joining us for our live launch coverage of Ariane 5 after about an hour hold there. We are now seeing, as you can see on your screen, full green panels across the board, which means the range is good, the rocket's good, the ground systems are good, and everything is currently go for launch. That big bar at the very top, that's the biggest one to watch. That's the go, no go. So right now we are go. We're at T-minus 6 minutes and counting until tonight's launch. Take a moment, share out the broadcast, let people know that we're back on the clock. And that they're gonna miss the launch if they don't get back in here. Let's see, can we get back up to that 2K watch happening now? But if you guys have questions, send them in the chat. We will answer those during the coast phase of tonight's launch, as we will have 38 minutes between launch and actual deployment. So you can continue sending those in. Thanks for being here. We're gonna listen in for the last terminal part of this count from the 5-minute mark here. But take a moment and let us wish some luck in the chat for tonight's launch. We'll see. We got down to about T-minus 4 minutes last time. So we'll see if we have any issues arise in the final 5.5 minutes here as we count down. Keep an eye on that green panel. If that stays green, then we are go for launch. But let's keep listening in.
Them sent by the launcher to check that all the parameters are okay.
So everything is controlled from the Jupiter Control Center, which we see up on the screen. They're all there. They all look very serious, where all the operators are very focused on the job at hand. How would you describe the atmosphere, David, in the control room at this stage of the operations at 4 minutes, 52 seconds from liftoff?
Yes, everyone is concentrated, focused on what they're doing, and checking that all the parameters are okay, and waiting for the last moments, hoping that there will be no red light coming up.
So we just saw in the Jupiter Control Center quite a few people there. There's a public seated around a wall in like an amphitheater, which enables them to experience this launch live. Who are these people?
Yes, so we have some general public who is invited to attend the launch, and then of course all the launcher authorities from CNES, Arianespace, and of course our customers.
So what I didn't say earlier was the Jupiter room was inaugurated in 1996 during Ariane's 82nd launch, but that's not the only building. Another important one is the CDL number 3, which is partially shielded and is located 2.5 kilometers from the launcher. And this is, in fact, where we found where the red button came from, because somebody had sounded it from there. Is that not right? Can you talk to us about the CDL building?
Yes, you're right. The operations are monitored from this launch control center, the CDL3, which is, yes, a bunker located just a couple of kilometers from the launcher. And in this building, we have the operational, the engineering, and the quality teams that are monitoring all the parameters. And yes, this is where any event can be detected.
So thank God for the CDL center, because otherwise we wouldn't have known about that tonight. So what I want to ask you next is, so when you were on mission and you're working over there in Kourou, where do you work from? Is it from the CDL building or from the Jupiter Control Center? Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I've been several times working there in the CDL3, so in the launch control center, as part of the engineering support team. So following all the activities, all the launcher integration campaigns, and then following the chronology and supporting for the management of anything that may come up.
And recently, or in the years that you've been working for Arianespace, have you experienced a red day?
You're just joining us, though. Welcome here to the launch pad. You're here just in time. We are at T-minus 2 minutes until the launch of Ariane 5. We want to see, as always, here at the launch, when we're at that T minutes, we want to see a go, no go in the chat if we should launch tonight. Obviously, we have no thing, but we want to see what you see, we're fully green on the screen. Let's see a go, no go in the chat here. Coming down to T-minus 2 minutes and counting. You can see all the people fleeing the room. The big door has opened so they can go outside and actually watch the launch. You see all the mission control people. Oh, the zoo's leaving. But let's flood the chat with go. Take a moment, share out the link if you haven't yet. Let people know we are back on the clock. T-minus 90 seconds at this point. It'll be great to see here. Unfortunately, this launch will not be visible, really, unless you're in the region. It's going straight east from the launch site, but let's listen in to the last 60 seconds.
Now 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's now
T-minus 60 seconds
for liftoff. So we are now only a few seconds away from liftoff, which we have all been eagerly awaiting for since the beginning of the program. David, anything else you'd like to add? Any last encouraging words?
Yes, go Ariane 5.
Well, fair into the launcher 5115. Let's now admire these incredible images. We'll, of course, stop our live commentary to sit back and enjoy the 111th launch of Ariane 5.
T-minus 30 seconds until liftoff here. T-minus 20 seconds. All still green on the boards from what we've heard. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, ignition start, 2, 1, 0, main engine start, stand by for the SRBs, SRB ignition and liftoff. Liftoff of Ariane 5, carrying VA255, record-breaking mission for Arianespace. T plus 30 seconds into the flight, flying through the clouds there. It is a night launch, so we'll hopefully get a little longer view, but depending on the clouds.
The Ariane 5 launcher has just successfully completed its liftoff, but the mission is not over yet, is it, David? Other equally important steps are still to come. These include the separation of the two satellites on board, Syracuse 4A and SES-17, which should reach their geostation in about 30 minutes. Is that correct, David? I'm so happy.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
David, you are also connected with Kourou via an earpiece, where the CVI transmits all the information concerning the evolution of the mission. What is the CVI and how does it work?
Yes, I have a direct link with the CVI team, a team located in Kourou who receives the real-time flight data sent by the launcher to the tracking stations. And right now they confirm that all the parameters are as expected. These parameters include the altitude, the velocity, the engine parameters.
So at 2 minutes, 19 seconds from liftoff, the CVI should announce, am I right, the separation of the boosters? Is that the first thing?
Yes, that's right.
How important is this step for the mission, David?
Yes, in a few seconds, the booster separation should take place. The launcher will have gone through the most stressful part of the launch.
Stressful.
Yes, in terms of mechanical loads, dynamic pressure, and the booster separation will be at around 65 kilometers and traveling at the speed of Mach 6.5. So it should come up in just a few seconds.
So a few seconds, 3 seconds. Yep, we've seen it now.
Yes, we have the confirmation of the separation, yes.
Okay, so this stage is the first of many, and in a few seconds Ariane will be at an altitude of 110 kilometers, and the DDO will then be announcing the separation of the fairing. What can you tell us about this particular stage, David?
Yeah, so at 110 kilometer altitude, the atmosphere has become really thin, only a few air particles remain. So at this point, the fairing, which is there to protect the satellites from the atmosphere, the heat and the sound at liftoff, and during the ascent, is no longer needed. So it is jettisoned to save weight. So this again should happen in just about 10 seconds.
This is an important moment as well. Well, every stage is important, every phase. We're just waiting now. A couple of seconds for the separation of the fairing.
La propulsion
318.
est
There we
nominale.
go.
Séparation de la coiffe.
We just have seen it. We've seen it on the screen.
And we have the confirmation
Had
from
confirmation.
the DDO
Brilliant.
as well.
So by separating from its fairing, Ariane 5 will now be approximately 2 tons lighter, which is a significant weight in flight.
La trajectoire est nominale.
SES-17, one of the 2 satellites launched tonight, had a launch mass of more than 6 tons, and it is one of the 10 heaviest telecommunication satellites launched by Arianespace since its creation. Am I correct, David?
Yes, that's right, yes.
So at this stage of the launch, we have a launcher that weighs what and is traveling at what speed? We can see it up on the screen, I think. Can you tell us?
Well, in terms of mass, the launcher was about 780 tons at liftoff. Right now, we have only about 149 tons left. And the speed, as you can see, yes, it's about 2.7 kilometers per second, which is about a third of what we need to reach. At the end of the flight, we will be about 9.3 kilometers per second.
So now up on, we've got Ariane 5 up there. Can you talk to us about the images we're seeing up here?
La propulsion est nominale.
Yes, so
Et le
you have
pilotage est calme.
the launcher as it is right now with the main stage, and then on top the upper stage and the 2 satellites on the right-hand side. And on the right, you see, yes, the different parameters, the altitude of the launcher, and then the ground track with the trajectory that it will follow along crossing the ocean and then Africa.
Could I just ask you, what will the next launch at Ariane 6 bring in terms of adaptability?
Well, it will bring a much larger fairing size, and that will help to launch any 2 large communication satellites.
And if you're just joining us, welcome here to the launch pad. We have had liftoff of Ariane 5 from the French Guiana Space Center. We're at T plus 5 minutes, 30 seconds into flight, awaiting for that main core stage shutdown and staging. That's expected to occur at an altitude of 178 kilometers, which you can monitor that at the bottom center of your screen. We've got altitude, distance, and velocity. It's expected at about T plus 9 minutes, and then we'll expect to see that second stage ignition right after that. So T minus 9 minutes is the next major event for shutdown and separation of the main core there, continuing Ariane 5's journey forward. We're going to be live for the next little while. We have separation scheduled of the first satellite at T plus 29 minutes, 35 seconds. And then separation of the second satellite at T plus 38 minutes, 41 seconds. So we have some time. Looks like they're going to play an animation rather than showing the live view. I think this is the update about the Ariane 6 that they're working on. But if you're joining us, thank you for being here. We know quite an on and off night with that large 1 hour hold there because of some issues with the main cryogenic tank, but it seems like it is performing well. We're keeping an eye on for that main booster separation here in about 2 minutes time. As I said, we'll have some time until separation, so you can continue to send in those questions. We would love to answer those as we go through this coast phase. Super easy way to have a question answered on the channel. 2 ways to do it. 1, send it in the chat, tag us at the launch pad, or 2, send it as a super chat. That makes sure you're the next question that we answer. Also, then, you're helping us out so we can continue bringing you the best possible live launch coverage of not only Arianespace, but SpaceX, Starbase, futures of Rocket Lab, and many things here in the near future. And we're excited to have you here with us. They're showing, an animation here of what Ariane 6 and the development is going through. But a successful liftoff. I know many of you are going to bow out with the liftoff, so thank you for being here. Take a moment, subscribe. It helps us out. That way you never miss another Ariane 5 launch or SpaceX or any of the other rocket launches in the near future. We hope to see you then, but we'll be live for next little while until full deployment has occurred, and we'll continue answering your questions here. We are going to listen in here for the next minute or so as we await the booster separation. And then a few more milestones will occur a little bit later on in the flight, closer to the actual separation of the two satellites. Booster separation expected here in about a minute's time, at an altitude of 178 kilometers. Altitude currently 161 kilometers. It looks like speed is still increasing, which is still a good sign, and so is the velocity. Those are always a good sign, so we'll keep an eye on that. Lee says, I've learned more about ESA today than in the last 2 years. Thanks, Zach. Well, I appreciate that, Lee. Thanks for being here, and thanks for asking those questions. It was great to have you here. Matt, got to get back to the homework. Thanks so much, Matt. We will see you around, hopefully, in the future. Good luck on your homework. Cody's asking where I got my Falcon Heavy model. This is from our friends over at Starship Balls on Etsy. Keep an eye out for our new website launching in a couple weeks, and we will have links to you there. And there we have it. Booster separation confirmed. Great sign. They are having a successful flight here. Continuing on towards the deployment of their two satellites. Listen in here for an update, if there is any.
So, so we don't see the launcher anymore.
No, well, for the time being, in fact, we are still being tracked both from the Gallia station, which is right next to the launch site, and from the Natal station in Brazil. But yes, the visibility from the Gallia station should be lost in a few seconds.
So sorry, can you just take us through those steps again? What will be happening next? We're at now 10 minutes 11 after the launch.
Yes. So
we're tracking on the map. If we see on the map
right now,
on the right,
we can see on the map that we are north of Brazil.
we're before the loss of Natal, which is...
Yes.
La propulsion est nominale et le
And
pilotage est calme.
we see that the launcher is basically flying horizontally. It's increasing its speed.
Going towards
it's maybe,
the east.
It's even going down a little bit to gain some speed. And it's going across the Atlantic at very quickly at 7.2 kilometers per second.
That's a really important thing to point out with the Ariane 5 that's different. Normally in a rocket launch, we'd see it go up and then continue going up. We wouldn't want to see it start descending this early in the flight. But what Ariane 5 does is it gets up, gets some altitude. When it loses its core, it actually tips back down, lowers its altitude to pick up speed, and does almost, kind of a longer burn to get into its orbit. But this is something normal that we've seen before, but it's kind of weird to see the elevation change and lowering, but that speed increasing is a good sign. On their screen, they always have a good tracker on the top right there. You can see kind of that yellow line and the green line. Yellow is what has actually happened. Green is the scheduled. This is an animated an animation based off the schedule, not live data, but scheduled data, as they are in between ground stations here. You can see on your screen right now, they're zooming in on the big animation, that orange dot, the launch site, the white line, the path that has been traveled. The green dots are the ground stations they can connect to, and you can see where the launch is. The ground stations are orange when they're not connected. They go green when they are connected. So right now, they are in between two ground stations, and so we'll have some updated data here momentarily. Francis, this is an Ariane 5, not a 6. 6 has not launched yet, but that's an easy mistake to do. Greg, the real question is, does Launchpad cover rocket launch memes? In the Discord, there is a meme channel, so you can make sure you can send in your rocket memes there. I know Ronald asked the question how much the launches are. 139 to 185 million euros. If you guys have questions, keep sending those in the chat. Take a moment, join the Discord as well. Love to have you in there. Once this stream ends, we'll head on over, pull up some Kerbal, and hang out in there for a little bit as well. But you can always join the Discord. I know it's been active tonight. Some people hanging out over in the live comms as well a little bit earlier. So great to see you all in there. Sounds like a roller coaster ride. It really is. Really is a roller coaster ride. I think it's in an Austin Powers movie. Interesting. But let's listen in here. Oh, they're going to play a video. So this is about the company that's made the 2 satellites, so we'll keep that on air as they work towards the stage separation. The first satellite is expected to separate at T plus 29 minutes, 35 seconds. So we're about 16 minutes away from the expected satellite separation time there. For the first, that would be the SES-17 satellite, which is the communication satellite for aviation. And then about 8 minutes later, we expect the separation of the second satellite, which is the French military one there. Conan, would you teach me how to launch my first rocket in Kerbal? If you jump in the Discord, we can do some early rocket ideas. Sure, we could do that tonight. Conan, absolutely. Francis, I wish they did what SpaceX does and put live cameras on their rockets. We've become we're so accustomed to it, but we're really lucky how much live views we really have from SpaceX and the others. It is something that we are pretty blessed with. The man says up and away. Yeah, a great launch here this evening of the Ariane 5. Into the Cosmos says that lowering of its altitude to speed up is called the KSP maneuver. Hey, I've definitely done it in KSP a few times. I did it earlier today. But yeah, play Kerbal all the time, Conan, in the Discord. The cool thing is, if you're playing, you can join the Discord and play in there, and then maybe other people will join too. You don't have to wait for me to be in the Discord to do stuff. Ben asking, you up for another launch competition? We'll have to wait and see. Let's do some early Kerbal stuff first. But maybe. The trick to Kerbal, adding more boosters. And turning off the gravity. Another really big, helpful thing for the boosters. But if you're just joining us, welcome here to the Launchpad. My name's Zach. I'm the host here at TLP, and you're watching our live launch coverage. About 16 minutes ago now, we finally had a successful launch of Ariane 5 from the French Guiana, carrying 2 satellites into a record-breaking orbit for the Arianespace, heading up to a perigee of 250 kilometers and then an apogee of 35,200 kilometers, where they will finalize their orbit. They launched at an inclination of 6 degrees. Here today, we did have a 1-hour delay due to some sensors in the main cryogenic tank, but we have seen that has performed well, had separation, and are now onto the upper stage. Helpful Drex, congrats on nearly 2K live viewers. Thanks, Helpful Drex. I appreciate it. Yeah, we had 2K 2012 at launch, and earlier, if we didn't have the scrub, we had 2,500, which was amazing to have so many of you space fans here for tonight's launch. Believe it or not, you guys almost beat Arianespace's official coverage here. That's incredible. We've got both open, obviously, and we've been watching it. So you guys are crushing it, and excited to have you here for it. If you were watching on the Arianespace stream and you shared the link over there, thanks so much. It was great having you all here. Military won't show anything, much less live. It's true. I wouldn't expect to see too much footage from the deployment. We'll probably just see that animation, but we will wait for confirmation of deployment at least, so we have an idea on that. Oh, that's cool. Maybe that's why so many of you saw our tweet. Ariane Group actually liked our tweet tonight about our live coverage. That's cool. That's awesome. I didn't see that. I was wondering why our Twitter was blowing up. That's really cool. Well, Ariane Group, if you're watching, thanks for the support and a great launch here tonight. into the cosmos, much newer, much smoother stream with the new Wi-Fi. Oh, if you don't know, we changed our network in the studio in the house here to be able to get you guys better feeds. And yes, we have had a great stream so far, knock on wood. Gotta love that fiber internet. Stealth mode, thanks, Launchpad, space fan all my life. I got to see the last Saturn V get as launch. Oh, I'm jealous. I never got to see a shuttle. I wanted to see a shuttle, never got to do that. But that's awesome, stealth mode. Greg, I think a game called Simple Rockets is replacing KSP at the moment. It's because it's free, and a lot of people don't want to buy normal KSP because KSP 2 is coming. That's why a lot of people aren't doing that. On the screen now, though, another live view into the mission control. You can see that the elevation is starting to dramatically increase with that tracker in the bottom left corner. Currently, the Ariane 5 payload is just reaching the coast of Africa. Unfortunately, we don't have a punched-in view of this data, but it is something that is underway. Actually, we might be able to punch in here very briefly. You guys an idea? A little bit harder to do, but no, you can keep moving it. That's okay. But you can see that elevation increasing, which they slow down, speed up, and now they're going on an upward trajectory, which is a great sign there. Mars asking when is second stage shutdown and stage separation. We are expecting the, let's see here. Upper stage shutdown is expected at T plus 24 minutes and 47 seconds. So we are 5 minutes away from that expected upper stage shutdown, which will be followed 3 minutes later by deployment of the first satellite. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the core shut down at 178 kilometers. It was about 168 what we saw. Upper stage shutdown will occur at 640 kilometers. Quite an elevation difference. And then the deployment of the first satellite at 1,036 kilometers and deployment of the second satellite at 2,585 kilometers. So it is on its way up towards that deployment orbit way out there. But that is a great sign. Conan, welcome to the Discord. Well, it'll be great to see you in there in a little bit. Once the stream wraps up, we'll definitely see that. Welcome to Keith to the Discord. We got Johnny, welcome. Jason, Dallas, great to see you. Spacey Games, Mad Lifted, it's finally updated your guys' names. Hutch, Cabby Lee, Spike, Stealth Mode, good to see you. Big Mac, Liberty Dude, great to have you all in the chat. Liberty Dude, I want to know how you knew when their timeline was. Do you work for them? We've all got questions. But thank you so much, Liberty Dude, and to all of you for your support here tonight. You guys have smashed every record of a live stream for us, and we're so honored and blessed that you guys are here with us, and excited about space for us as well. We got a great call out there. Why don't we do a replay of the launch? We can do that. Why not? We got some time here, so we'll jump back to the actual launch sequence here. We didn't get to see it live all that much as the clouds filled in. But we are going to pull up a quick live replay for you guys here for it. So if you're just joining us, this is a replay. I don't have the replay on the screen here, but from T-minus 20 seconds for it here. This is, again, a replay from about 20 minutes ago. Ariane 5 successfully lifted off from the French Guiana. But let's replay the audio here.
4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage moteur Vulcain.
They really need some pad mics there. There we go.
Allumage des deux EAP et décollage VA 255, SE17 et Syracuse 4A.
It's a great call out there. Marcus is Liberty Dude's the one that liked the tweet. Liberty Dude made the night. Liberty Dude, you're absolutely crazy. Francis could get a link to the tweet. Absolutely, we can give you guys.
Ariane 5 launcher has just successfully completed its liftoff, but the mission is not over yet, is it, David? Other equally important steps are still to come. These include the separation of the two satellites on board, Syracuse 4A and SES-17, which should reach their geostationary position in about 30 minutes. Is that correct, David? I'm so happy.
Yes, that's
We've got a little bit of time here to kill, so I'll figure we'd do a little quick slow-mo replay of that ignition sequence here that occurred about 20 minutes ago. Liberty Dude, another super chat. Thank you for the great stream. Live long and prosper and get it up into space. Thank you so much, Liberty. I appreciate that so much. You're incredible. If you guys haven't followed us over on Twitter, make sure you do so. The link's there in the chat. People asking, I'm in Canada. I am in, yes, Edmonton, Canada. From it. So thank you guys for that support. This is a slow-mo replay of the launch that occurred about 20 minutes ago. We are expecting to come up on that upper level engine shutoff here momentarily, so we are keeping a close eye on that as well. Arianespace currently playing a video though, but we'll patch back over to that when we get that confirmation. You can see that main engine ignition. It holds on the ground for about 7 seconds, and that's when we see those two SRBs ignite for the launch. Hey Brandon, great to see you. And there is that ignition from the launch about 20 minutes ago. Ariane 5 lifting 2 communication satellites, 1 aviation satellite, and 1 military satellite for the French military in partnership with NATO there. Our friends over on Facebook, it's great seeing you in there, Mike and Black Cooper. Thanks so much for being in the chat here tonight as well. Great having you all here. Well, you got here just in time for the replay, Brandon. Just in time for the replay. There is that successful launch that we saw a little bit earlier here this evening. Almost FM, Edmonton, birthplace of my all-time favorite TV show. So you're meaning Saturday Night Live? Which show are you talking about? Most people don't realize Saturday Night Live was actually started in Edmonton, Canada. It was not started in New York. It was here for a couple years on White Ave, I believe it was, or Jasper Ave, and then moved to New York. Brad says the space race has advanced technology and a lot of things. It's great to see this country's getting into it. Absolutely, Brad. It's exciting to see that people are getting into it too. We're going to switch over here as we have confirmation of the second stage, upper stage, having completed its burn and has had shut down, which means the payload is on its way to its deployment orbits here. We are expecting that first deployment at T plus 29 minutes, 35 seconds. That is the SES-17 satellite, or the aviation satellite. You guys are new though, take a moment, engage that like, subscribe button. It really does happen. Almost FM, SCTV. Never heard of it. I'll have to look that one up. Brandon's asking chances of Rocket Lab pulling off their first recovery. It's soon, yes. The next one, they are stationing the helicopter as if they would do it, but they're not going to actually do it. So here's hoping. I'm thinking early next year. I think they're going to go early next year. They might try to squeeze an attempt at the end of the year, but it'll be interesting to see if they do it. But I think they'll get it. I think they'll get it on the first one and then maybe almost drop it. Like they'll get it, won't be perfect, so they have to release it. I'm not too sure. We'll see what happens. There's a lot to have a booster flying through the air with a parachute and hooking it. So we'll see what happens. But the fact that they have the helicopters, they're going to be ready for it, is a really great sign here. We're awaiting payload separation, actually, of that first satellite here in about 2 minutes time. Sesson, thanks for streaming. Absolutely great to have you here. Jay Grimm, can you superimpose that helmet image over your face as an astronaut would wear, please? I can do better, Jay Grimm. I could put my helmet on. I could just put a real helmet on. That's something we could do here. We're going to listen in for that payload deployment here. Not sure what they're talking about, but let's listen in.
processor, the DDP, will be able to process 100 times more data than the previous generation and will enable governments to accelerate their policies to reduce the digital divide in America. So just before the launch of this satellite, which is the 164th satellite designed by Thales Alenia and launched by Arianespace, the DDO should also announce the loss of Libreville. Can you explain?
Yes, we are now, as you see in the map.
I'm looking up now on the right, yeah.
In the map, we see that we have traveled across Africa, and we are continuing into the Indian Ocean, and therefore, yes, we have lost the Libreville station, which is on the west coast of Africa.
It's incredible all the journey Ariane 5 has done.
La manœuvre
So we're waiting
d'orientation
for the
se
separation
poursuit
of
nominalement.
SES-17. And what does this step represent for all the teams? This must be another crucial phase for your client.
Yes, this is a quite intense moment. The separation is a very important milestone for SES and for Thales Alenia Space teams, of course, and also for us at Arianespace.
It is the culmination, David, of how many years of work?
Well, it's the result of many years of
L'orientation visée est
studies,
atteinte.
manufacturing, integration, and tests for each one of these satellites. And for us, on the launcher side, we have also performed analysis during several years to define and validate the mission and to prepare all the details.
So, David, in less than 10 seconds, we're going to see the separation of SES-17, which we've all been waiting for. You can see everybody waiting with bated breath in the fishbowl, in the control center, Jupiter's control center. Here we go. You can see it now coming up on the screen, David.
Right. Yes, we have
Séparation du satellite SES-17.
we have the confirmation now.
Brilliant. That is brilliant news. Everyone's looking very smiley behind their masks. So that's
So we have their payload separation of the first of two satellites here tonight. Satellite SES-17, the aviation satellite, on its way, on its mission there. And now we await separation of the Syracuse 4A satellite, which we're expecting at T plus 38 minutes. So 8 minutes, 20 seconds from now. Gerardo, thank you so much for that super chat in... Ooh, what currency is that? It just says MX, Mexican peso? Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that super chat and supporting the channel in that way. That's very generous of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and supporting what we do. But a very exciting day here for Ariane 5, a record-breaking launch, launching two satellites into a record-breaking orbit for them, and the last launch ahead of James Webb Space Telescope, which is targeting launch on November 18th so far. So great to have that here. If you're new, welcome here to the Launchpad. My name's Zach. I'm the host here. Here at the Launchpad, we cover everything space with live launch coverage, exclusive interviews, space news updates, and more. And we invite you to be part of it by subscribing. We believe that space is better together, so we invite you to like and subscribe. It really does help us out there, so you never miss another new video. But also consider joining our community over on Discord. It's free to do so. Once we wrap up this stream, we're going to head on over, play some Kerbal, hang out with you guys, and hear some of your guys' thoughts from tonight's launch for it, and we're glad to have you here with us. We believe that our mission is to inform and inspire, so we try to bring you every live launch that we can, as well as full Starbase coverage of static fire testing, major monuments of the development of Starbase, like the lift of the chopsticks, and of course we'll be live on location at Starbase, Texas for the orbital flight test, as well as the launch of our Starbase cam. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Feather Industries, I heard the logo changed. Is it true? Which logo, Feather? Are you meaning in the Discord? The Discord logo changed, yes. We did have an update there, thanks to one of our community members. Did a little update to our logo there with a nice little background and a little bit of an update to the visor of our helmet. We're excited to be little updates to the logo here and there, but it's staying the same. We've got the helmet. We got the helmet here, so we're keeping that. Andy, is this a real rocket launch? Yes, this is a real rocket launch. It launched We are at T plus 32 minutes, 55 seconds at this point. So if you want to jump back that long, you'll be able to see the launch there. Thanks, Francis, for that exchange there. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. I had a rough idea. The sad, I think James Webb is so much more important, and that's why they'll send it after this. What do you think? I think it's where it fit in the timeline. Ariane 5 has had 111 launches now with today's launch. They've had 106 successful launches. I would say this is a successful launch. We're just waiting for final payload. But the booster portion, the engine burn portion, is complete. So I would say 106 successful launches. They've had 2 successful failures and 3 full mission failures. So it is a very safe rocket to launch on, and that's why I think they picked it for James Webb. Hardy Worms, you're a cool guy. Want to play some video games later? On the Discords, we'll play some Kerbal there. Feather said every logo changed. I don't believe every logo changed. Shouldn't have seen every logo. No, I don't. Not sure. Not sure what that is there. Brad, it was a good stream. Have a good night. Thanks so much, Brad. We'll see you. You're just joining us, though. We are T plus 34 minutes and about 20 seconds since the successful launch of Ariane 5. We're waiting for the final satellite to separate. We have 2 milestones coming up, actually. We have the Silda separation from which is the larger payload part where they've stacked the 2 payloads. And then we will have the actual separation of the Syracuse 4A satellite at T plus 3841. But in 2 minutes time, less than that, 90 seconds from now, we are expecting that Silda separation. Andy, that image you were playing, is it a lot? I know some of the images are quite interesting that they have up there. Kenneth, this is the cleanest and most informative presentation I've watched. Thanks so much, Kenneth. I appreciate that. We don't have the Discord thing working that way, but I can drop it in the chat for you there. There we go. There's that link for you. Webb is due December 18th is the current no earlier launch then. We'll see how that goes. It's good that this got off on its original launch date. Well, second launch date. It got delayed a day. But that is the next launch. And we will be scheduling our full coverage live stream here very soon for the James Webb launch. We'll try to do that maybe later tonight. So make sure that you come back to the channel tomorrow so you can hit set reminder so you get updates should the timeline change. The live stream will change and you'll get reminded when that's coming up. Alex Y is mission control wearing masks because of the pandemic. So they are still wearing that with pandemic protocol and being safe there. Fountain, thanks for the live, but it's getting late. Thanks so much, Fountain, for being here. Have a great night. We will see you hopefully next time. Nope, successful launch. It was a good launch. We are waiting here. We should see that separation of the Silda right away here. We'll listen in.
So now,
there it is.
So now, yes, we have
36 minutes and 21 seconds. We should be getting the. Oh, here we go.
Right.
David, what is happening?
There we go. We have now the confirmation of the separation of the structure, of the Silda structure, yes.
Okay. So can you remind us of the function of this important element in the Ariane 5 fairing?
Yes, it's indeed a very important structure that allows to do these launches with 2 customers at the same time. It's a carbon fiber structure, a very strong structure. Its weight is less than 450 kilos, but it can withstand loads of more than 20 tons. So it's a very efficient, very strong structure.
So do you have any further information?
In about a minute's time, we are expecting to see that final satellite separation, the Syracuse 4A. We're going to stand by for that, and we'll see this mission come to full completion. So let's listen in for that confirmation.
Very good news.
Yes, very good news. And as you see, we are now turning, the launcher is turning to put Syracuse 4A in the right position for its separation.
So we've been together on Road to Space for just over an hour now. In a few minutes, the Ariane 5 launcher will be separating from the second satellite, Syracuse 4A, and put into orbit. This separation will mean that all the teams can, I imagine, finally celebrate the end of the mission and relax. What do you think, David?
Yes, that's right, yes.
And are all separations the same, or do they have their own specificities and challenges? They're obviously not all identical.
No, you're right, Emma. Each separation is a bit different.
We should be about 20 seconds away here from separation of the second of the two satellites on board. This is the French military satellite.
Required orientation. We got the confirmation that the right orientation has been reached, and therefore we should have a separation in a few seconds.
David, the DDO, sorry to interrupt you, in 10 seconds, sorry, we're going to be announcing, the DDO is going to be announcing the separation of Syracuse 4A, which is obviously a crucial moment.
That's right, yes.
Here we go. It looks like it's separating.
Yes,
What can
we
you
have.
say?
Séparation Syracuse 4A. En attente des acquisitions
The
satellites.
applauses.
There we
We
go.
can hear the applauses in the Jupiter control room. That's fantastic.
Yes, the
They
separation.
must be so happy. Look at those smiles on those faces. Thank you, David, so much for that. Look, there's applause all around.
And with that, we have separation confirmed of the second satellite, the Syracuse 4A, completing tonight's Ariane 5 mission. After that 1 hour delay, we had a clean count from T-minus 10 minutes through the launch, and then a great smooth launch. You can see now people can celebrate. The launch is complete. Just because they get through the first payload, they got to get through all of them before the mission's complete. But now they have done that, so a great launch there. Heather, you got a really great point. SpaceX really does spoil us with their cameras, and that is absolutely true. But that was another great launch here from Ariane 5. 106th successful flight in its history of 111 launches there. So great to see that. But we're going to spend a couple minutes here sending in your last questions. So send in those last questions. We will answer those before we wrap up here this evening. You've been watching our live launch coverage of Ariane 5 mission VA 255 from the French Guiana. Ronald asking, what factors do space programs take into consideration for selecting a liftoff location? Ooh, that's a loaded question there, Ronald. But a good one nonetheless. It takes in a number of factors. One, obviously, is where do they need the payload to be deployed? So where do they want their satellite to be put into orbit? In what inclination? There are certain launch sites that can launch into certain inclinations. Like Vandenberg is never going to launch straight east. It's always going to be launching to the west over the ocean, somewhat to the south, so it can do polar launches for it. Also, you know, for Florida, it has quite a wide range of where it can launch, but it can do a polar launch if it does a dogleg. So it launches southeast and then it actually turns further south as it goes. So depending on the launch site, is that obviously depending on the rocket as well, which rocket can fit the payload, handle the weight of the payload. Some payloads need to be installed vertically, some can be horizontal, some can be stacked with other stuff, some can't. So there's a number of factors that go into it. Also availability of when, you know, great, I'm going to have a payload ready in 5 years. Who's currently selling tickets? Because you don't buy a ticket 6 months out. You buy these years and years and years out because your payload gets built around what rocket you're launching on. And then the biggest one, of course, is finances. What's the cheapest option but the most reliable option? Would you rather pay more for an Ariane 5 versus getting something that's a less known rocket that might be cheaper? So you have to look at balancing all of that. But that is a great question there, and hopefully that answered it. Super high level answer there, Ronald. It goes through a few of the things. Cage, what do we call you, Mr. Launchpad, or do you have a preferred call sign? You can call me Mr. Launchpad. That's a new one. I haven't heard that one before. But my name's Zach. You can call me Zach. That works. Lee, good night from Portland. Thanks for being here. Great to have you. Awesome work, Ariane 5. Thanks for the ride. Scotland's getting some launch sites soon. That's true. Scotland and the UK are getting some launch ports, spaceports, and some launch sites, which is really great. Eva, great to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Jackie, as well. But I think that is going to be it for us here this evening. We're going to wrap it up for our stream here tonight, covering the launch of Ariane 5 mission VA 255, launching from the French Guiana after a successful flight there. If you're just joining us, though, thanks for being here. It's been great to have you all here in the chat with us. Thanks for bearing with us through that hold. It was great having you guys here with those questions through that 1 hour hold, but a successful launch that we saw here today of the Ariane 5. But as we wrap up, if you are new one last time here at the Launchpad, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow, and we invite you to be part of our community by subscribing, joining our Discord, becoming a YouTube or Patreon member. Really does help out what we're able to do and help be able to bring you guys the best possible coverage. If you guys want to help support us in another way, check out our Etsy shop. We got a bunch of stuff on there for Starbase and Starship. We're excited to be launching some new stuff as well for the holidays, so keep an eye for that. Black Friday sales as well. So definitely head on over to Etsy, favorite the shop so you get notified when that all occurs. Jackie Ward, thank you so much for that super sticker. I appreciate that. There, Liberty Dude, another one for the Keep Smiling Fun, Keep Well All. Thank you so much, Liberty Dude. You are absolutely crazy. But it was great to have you. Thank you again to all of our mods in the chat as well, our TLP crew members there, Ben, Marcus, I know we saw a few others in there as well, and our mods over, of course, in the Discord as well. So Brant and Ben and Marcus and Zach and all of you, thanks for helping us do what we do. But that's going to wrap it up for us here tonight. If you haven't yet joined the Discord, we're going to take a quick break, jump over to the Discord, play some Kerbal, and answer your guys' questions, and just hang out as we do in Discord. But for now, that's going to do it for us here on the Launchpad. We will see you right back here for the launch of Kourou 3 on October 31st. That stream is scheduled, so make sure you join us for that, and maybe some Starbase testing in the meantime. But for now, this is Zach with the Launchpad, signing off. Have a great night, everyone.